Councilor
Good
Donald.
morning.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ms. Taylor?
I can't hear you.
Well, I have, let's see.
I can hear Cynthia.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Okay, Ms. Taylor, can you hear me?
You're muted now.
Okay, now.
Now you're back.
Ms. Taylor? Thank you. Okay, Ms. Taylor. Ms. Coleman. Tell Ms. Taylor I'm unmuted, but okay. I want you in council chambers. Is Ron in it? Go into the. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Ms. Taylor? Can you still hear me, Donna?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, I wonder what's going on. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am good. I saw that beautiful grandbaby.
Yes, she's a tiny little thing, but she'll be mighty.
Well, that's all right. She, you know, my last one wasn't but 2 pounds.
Oh my goodness. I
It's
can't wait. Can't wait to get my hands on her. I think she's going to get to come home tomorrow. So
wonderful, 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 wonderful. I can hear me, but Miss Taylor can't hear me. You can hear me over there? Mm-hmm. I've done everything you taught me to do. Yes. What's that? Hello. See what's going on with her. Is someone down seeing what's going on with her? Okay, all right. Just bear with us, you all. They're trying to get the city clerk taken care of. You know what I prefer?
Hello, Councilor Donald.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we can hear you now.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Good morning and welcome to the Bessemer City Council here in the great city of Bessemer, 1700 100 3rd Avenue North. Today is Tuesday, June the 8th, 2021. The meeting has been called to order. We'll have a silent word of prayer. Counselors, as we always do, we ask you to pray for this city, our sister cities, this state, this nation. A silent word of prayer, please. Amen. Item number 3, please, Ms. Taylor.
Council roll call. Councilor Alexander,
Present.
Councilor Collier,
Present.
Councilor Crusoe,
Present.
Councilor Marshall,
Present.
Councilor Thickpan,
Present.
Councilor Matthews,
Present.
Councilor Donald.
Present.
7 present, no absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Item number 4, please.
Strada Professional Services,
Ms. Dorothy George and/or
Good morning, everyone.
good morning. Hey, Ms. Akoff, how are you?
I'm great. How y'all doing? Good morning. Yes. First of all, we'd like to thank the council and the mayor for selecting us to do the work for Bessemer. And one of our first tasks is establish the historic commission. And as we found out in working to establish it, that Bessemer has to have a comprehensive plan. We went and did our research. You have a comprehensive plan from 1973 that was approved. However, we found a plan that the Regional Planning Commission, a master plan that did in 2012. We did not want to just send it to you and take a look at it. We want to explain it to you what we're about to send you. And we would like to use this, it was draft, and the draft plan was used. We would like to use the draft plan in order to establish the council right now with the potential, with the future to update and do an update fully comprehensive plan. The draft plan that they did was not fully comprehensive, but it's enough to get us started. And I think Councilman Matthews, I saw your picture in there a lot through the process. And Mayor Gully and Ron Marshall was from the council that was working on it. And I think Councilman Matthews, I think it had a lot to do with the pie shop area also. And I don't know if you remember the plan, and do you remember anything about it? Councilman Matthews? Jesse?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I was muted, and sometimes I make sure I'm muted because it's be some wild voices come through. But anyway, yeah, I do mention that when you said the RPC, I thought about the bow swells and the proactiveness that they were trying to take on helping the flooding and standing and stagnated water in the pipe shop at that time, mainly closest to the creek on 16th Street between 21st and 22nd Avenue. And I do remember that there was a good working relationship back then. And his name was Philip Amthor.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do remember
Yeah, and
that.
the plan, it covers, although it says just for, let's say, Bessemer master plan, it does cover a lot about the pie shop area. It does touch a little bit on the land use and historic district, and that's why I think we could use the plan. So what we're asking from Strada is to send the plan to each, we're gonna send it to your, it'll be coming to your mailbox. And also, I think in the past we had problems in what mailbox email we sent it to. And if y'all can let us know which is the best through your Secretary, Miss Angela, which is the best email to send it to, because it'll be a Dropbox. It's a large document, and because it got a lot of graphics in it. It's not a lot of reading to it, but it's a lot of graphics to it. And so we'd like to send that to y'all to take a look at it and give us permission to use it as our basis for a comprehensive plan to start off. Or we can go back and help. We're really trying to find a 1973 comprehensive plan. It was very, very old, 1973, but that's the latest that we found. But Bessemer really needs to update the comprehensive plan, and this is a good start. But we need something to base this in order to start the Historic Commission.
May I ask a question, Madam Chair?
Yes,
to
sir.
Ms.
Yes,
Acuff?
sir, Counselor. Go ahead.
And I understand that could be a start, but can it connect other segments of other communities and other districts as we I guess tweak it? Can it do that as well?
Well, that'll be a separate contract, Jesse. It's like, this is something we should use as a basic, but you would have to, when you do get ready for your comprehensive plan, or to get a comprehensive plan that's approved by the mayor and the council, that would be your basis start off to build you a real, a comprehensive plan. And yes, a full comprehensive plan will cover more detail about each district,
right,
in Bessemer. And this plan they have now, it covers a little bit about each district, but not the level that it should.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's the fault of this old plan that y'all have there. Both all old plans. It don't cover enough about, and it's not up to date. So that's another when we get to the conference, that's a whole nother level of the comprehensive plan as we go down this track, helping get Bessemer in order and get its documents in place.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir, Counselor.
Just a question to Ms. Acuff.
Yes, sir.
So Strada has been working on the initial stages of the comprehensive plan, right?
We have the straight answer is yes, because first we start off with the vision statement that
Right.
we have for the city of Bessemer, which is part of a comprehensive plan. The next thing is the historic that we're doing now. And the next thing, like certain things. So what y'all are doing is building parts of the comprehensive plan right now. So the real answer is yes, but we don't have the full contract to do, to complete it. That would come down the line. That's kind of like.
Well, what I'm trying to understand is your reference to the Regional Planning Commission and Councilor Matthews mentioned, and I remember, on the council, a comprehensive plan that was kind of underway. Now, is there a way that y'all are going to try to dovetail some of what was in that into what you're doing?
Yes. The information is good information, but it's lacking, like say for instance, land use. It doesn't really comprehend the full land use for Bessemer. It's lacking the full economic development study and marketing study. It's lacking full analysis of what the environmental or physiology of the whole city of Bessemer may be, like the Browns fields or potential hazardous material sites in Bessemer. So like I said, it's a basic for a plan, but it's not a full comprehensive plan. It's a master plan that we can use to establish the historic commission. However, Bessemer needs to update their comprehensive plan.
But are you saying that dovetailing those two together, Strada will perhaps come up with the comprehensive plan for the city of Bessemer so that you can establish this historic commission?
Well, we're not going to come up with a comprehensive plan in this task order we have now. Right now, our task is to establish the historic commission. And as we was looking in the regulations, one of the things say that Bessemer needs a comprehensive plan. The last comprehensive plan was last one we found was 1973 and the 2012 draft. Y'all never approved that plan, but it is draft.
But what I'm trying to understand is that in order to do the historic commission, you're saying that Bessemer's got to have an approved comprehensive plan.
You have an approved comprehensive plan for 1973. You do have a comprehensive 1973. However, the draft one that you have, y'all can approve that if you would like to, which is a draft master plan. And Strada will later on have to get a contract with the city to develop a full comprehensive plan. But we're not in the process of developing a comprehensive plan at this time. But we would like to use that draft because it does fit the criteria enough to use right now as a draft comprehensive plan to stand on.
But you're saying draft, but you say draft, but at the same time you say an approved plan.
Yeah. I mean, I would like y'all to approve the draft if y'all take a look at it, but it's like from 2012. I don't know how y'all will feel about that. I feel like it'd be the council decision to finally accept the draft plan as an approved plan right now as a comprehensive plan for Bessemer.
Okay, one last thing, Madam Chair, and I'm gonna be finished.
Oh, no problem.
Yes, sir.
You know, it just seems that if you go back and pull out that draft comprehensive plan and everybody starts looking at it and starts having different opinions and thoughts about that plan, does that set us back any? Does that, and how much time are we talking about to get to a point where we have an approved plan so that we can move forward with Historic Commission? I'm just worried about.
Well, you do have an approved 1973 plan, comprehensive plan. You do have a approved 1973 plan. We was gonna bring in the draft plan that's there for the master plan to use because it was a little bit more up to date. But we don't, like I said, if y'all come to back so y'all don't want to use that draft plan, we will base our stuff on the 1973 comprehensive plan.
Okay, I'm finished. Thank you.
Yeah, but I guess you can, Council Marshall, it would be nice if y'all did finally approve that draft plan and put it on your site, because it is good information that draft 2012 plan that's sitting on the RPC site. And I think what happened, something like when we was doing the vision plan, we came back to y'all to say, let's get approved. And I think a lot of consultants and like the RPC never came back to y'all and say, y'all need to go ahead and get this plan approved by the council and the mayor. And I think that was the last step. So it's a plan that's sitting there. I think y'all need to go ahead and approve, but also move forward to do a new comprehensive plan after this approval.
Thank you, councilors.
Madam President.
Yes, sir, Councilor Collier.
Ms. Acoff, is there any way we can get a copy of both? Do you have access to a copy of both of them?
Yes, we're looking, we've got access to copy of the 2012. We're working with the city to get the 1973 comprehensive plan. And it's very, very old. We're like digging through y'all files to get that right now. And that's taking more time than we thought it would take. But we are looking forward, and we should have it. We hopefully have it pretty soon. We got two more people to check at the city to find it.
Okay, could you, if you get access to it, could you make sure we get a copy of both?
Okay. If we get access, but I know we will be sending you access to the 2012 to take a look at it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Dorothy, you have anything to say? Dorothy? You muted. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, and Dorothy, you'll be coming through Dorothy email. Go ahead, Dorothy.
Okay. I just wanted to state that to Miss Elfita has, answered all of the questions for you all, but I just really wanted to state that the importance of this is, in order to become a certified local government and to access those funds, that's the importance of having the comprehensive plan behind us. And I wanted to state that the master plan that the RPC did, it is a strong foundational piece. However, when you're doing comprehensive plan, and comprehensive is a longer time period. And so it's about time for this plan never was approved through you all. However, it would be about time for us to take a look at it and start updating it at this point. And so, and as Ms. Elfito stated, we don't have a contract to do that, but One thing that we were saying about the task orders for the historic commission and the investment perspectives, what we are doing are pulling elements of a comprehensive plan, but it is not the comprehensive plan. But we definitely can build a new comprehensive plan based off of this. And there are a lot of good foundational pieces in this plan. And it seems that it used the pipe shop area as a neighborhood to show, what neighborhood development would look like. And it'll, address like those issues of flooding and different things like that. But you would have to do, like Ms. Alfito said before, an actual comprehensive plan will look at each district and the different communities. You would have a community or a neighborhood plan within a community plan within your comprehensive plan. So that's all I had to add to that. And I hope I was clear in what I'm stating to you all.
Thank you, Ms. Akoff, Mrs. Akoff and Ms. George for that information, but I did have a question. Timeline. What's the timeline that we're talking about? I heard Councilor Marshall ask about timeline and it was never answered. What's the timeline, or what timeline are we looking at? And what is it going to take in order for us to, I see you say you're building using parts and pieces, but with Bessemer growing as rapidly as Bessemer is growing, we need a comprehensive plan. So tell me, what is it going to take for us to get to that point?
Well, we are we need to get to the existing conditions piece, which would have been the next step in if you would have gone and done a actual comprehensive plan process. However, we can do a comprehensive plan within 12 to 18 months. And then you would have another 12 to 18 months for implementation of that plan. So we can build a plan within 12 to 18 months. That's my answer to that. And as far as the historic commission, we have 90 days to set this up. And so that's why we are here before you all today, asking, we're going to send out the 2012 master plan from the RPC for your review. And we want to come back to you all and if you all want to adopt the new plan. And like Ms. Alfita said, if you don't, we can use the 1973 plan just to say that we have it, so that you all qualify to get the CLG designation, the certified local government designation. So we have 90 days and we are 2 weeks into this project so far. And Ms. Alfito and I, we have met with the Alabama Historic Commission already, and we are, working diligently to get this done within that time frame for the Historic Commission.
Yeah.
Please get us that information. Is there a possibility that we can get that information today?
We will
Yes.
send it out today.
And we can, that'll give the counselors a week to look at that information. And I'm quite sure that there will be some questions for you all and they will call you. Councilor Matthews, did you have a question?
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily a question. The question is more so a statement, and I listened at Ms. Akoff very attentively when she said a foundation. And if you talk about a plan 1975, okay. You're talking about 2012, okay. Well, it doesn't matter what district it's in, but she did say there's a foundation to approve in order for things to start, and it would be in a separate contract or a separate agreement for them as in Strada to do a comprehensive plan. But if there's a foundation already laid and already there, we can get copies of 75, 1975, and 2012, but it just makes sense in my mind to build upon the foundation that she just explained and move forward in. But to go back into 1975, I don't see where there's much traction, as much traction than a up-to-date version where it started in a community in 2012. That's just to me, I think that would be the better route, but we can get both copies. I remember both of them. I remember this 1975 one, and of course I remember because there was a lot of questions asked in 2012. So I do remember those as well. So, but I would just think, just from a foundation standpoint, it would make more sense to start in 2012 rather than going back into 1975. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I totally agree with that, Councilor Matthews. And not only a foundation, but we already have a lot of research that we need. Is that not true, Ms. Akoff and Ms. George?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yes,
Yeah.
we found in a wealth of research for Bessemer that we're doing now. And like I said, we learning working with the council and working with the mayor that sometimes it's best to come and explain what we're going to send y'all first.
Absolutely.
And then once we explain and get some of the questions, and then we send it a document to y'all, let y'all take a look at it, have time to digest it. So yes, we have a wealth of information, and we didn't want to pile y'all up because we've got a ton loads of document from the past CLG that was established by Quitman Mitchell in 1993. And like I said, we were working with government agencies and trying to getting everything established for the city of Bessemer to have a good historic commission.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Akoff and Ms. George. Please send us that information. We're going to work on getting a resolution to pass that 2012 resolution so that we can start building. Because from the looks of it, we don't have very much time to do what needs to be done. So please, if you can, get that information to this body on today.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you so much.
Madam Chair.
Yes,
Madam
sir.
Chair.
Councilor Marshall. Yes.
I heard your optimism about having a resolution, but you know, a lot of dynamics have changed since 2012. And to say that we'll be prepared next week to pass a resolution, you know, that could be quite possibly a lot of questions or differences of opinion since 2012. I mean, since we've got new council members who were not here during 2012, may have some different ideas or concerns. So I think we need to get it and need to study it. And we may not be in a position, depending upon what questions or concerns, to automatically pass a resolution next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Marshall. If we're not in a position to pass it, we will look at it. And for those who don't, and for those who do, will. Thank you, Ms. Akoff.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam President.
Yes, sir. Is that
Mayor
Gully? How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. Good
Yes,
morning
sir.
to you as well as to this all who was on the line. Before we leave that item, I think we were talking about two separate things when we were talking about passing something for next week. I don't think that we're speaking of passing a comprehensive plan next week.
No.
I think we were speaking in terms of passing the historical commission on next week. Ms. Akoff, am I correct about that? We was not talking about a comprehensive plan as recently as trying to pass next week. I thought we were talking about the historical commission for next week.
Yes, sir. We are talking about the historic commission for next week. Also put the passing that next week. Yes, sir.
Madam President, this is getting confusing. I understand about the historic commission, but I thought I also understood that we needed to have an approved comprehensive plan. So are we saying we're going to use the 1975,
73 is 1973.
73 plan that was approved as a basis for establishing the Historic Commission? Is that what you're asking us to do?
Yes.
Ms. Acock?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that clears it up a little bit better.
You can use the 1973 as the basis for the Historic Commission. Like I said, we just wanted to use the draft as get your permission because it's a plan. This was a draft plan. This never was approved by the city. So we can't use approved as draft for the basis of a comprehensive plan. We're going to use it for a base as a comprehensive plan, the 2012. Yes.
But the 1973 was an approved plan.
Yes.
And you're saying in order to get the Historic Commission, we have to have an approved plan. So,
yes.
Okay, so that's the basis we'll be moving on.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We did not want to bring it because the first thing we have said, we had to come to y'all next week and say, hey, we based it on a 1973 plan. And then somebody come back and say, well, you had a draft plan in 2012. Why didn't y'all use that? And so we bring it forth to y'all. But the draft plan in 2012, that's up to y'all or what y'all want to approve it or not. That's not our decision. But we just want to make sure that it was clear in the plans that we have found.
And the whole again is we cannot move forward with the reestablishment of the Historic Commission and getting the CLG, the Certified Local Government designation without that. The city of Bessemer already has, or there are certain criteria that the city has to meet, and having the comprehensive plan, approved comprehensive plan, and your local ordinances are a part of that qualification or those criteria. And the mayor will be submitting names to you all for the historic commission, for the Historic Commission on next week as well. So I thank you, Mayor Gully, for asking for that clarity of what we are really discussing. We brought up the comprehensive plan on the basis of we need that piece in order to put the application in for the city. So if that clears some of that up.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir, Councilor Collier.
So it really doesn't matter. I'm asking a question to Ms. George, Ms. Acock. So it really doesn't matter which plan we use, as long as
we have one.
Yeah, as long as we have one, and we could pass that historical committee right away. So
right, because we are on it, and if we don't get this done, that's gonna push back the timeline for getting the Historic Commission reestablished. So
okay.
that's why we are here today, because we have such a tight deadline for it.
Okay,
and we found in our research, we found the two plans.
So the historical committee can be activated as long as we just pass the resolution for, I'm saying the 1973 one, we could pass, it's already in place, so all we be voting on.
That's
already in place.
It's
It's
all,
already
yeah.
Okay, so once that, we already be voting on the one that's in place, we can pass it quicker instead of voting on both. I'm asking the question.
Does it make to vote 1973 because that's already a document that the city has approved. They approved that a long time.
No, I'm not saying voting in 73. I know it's in place. I'm saying it'll be quicker just use that one.
Right.
Both of them,
Yes, sir.
We got to pass the 12 and the pass. So that's what I'm asking.
Yes, sir. Okay. And you kind of break.
Yes. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So, Madam President,
both of y'all was breaking up. I couldn't understand.
Okay. I'm sorry. Councilor
Collier, you were asking.
So we just doing a resolution for the historical committee, right? Or
Next
For,
week.
for the members. And we just didn't want the council to be blindsided, because there is a more recent master plan out there from 2012. So we wanted to bring that to your attention and note that it was never, adopted. We were just bringing that to you all for informational purpose. And we would like for you to, review that, review the 2012 document as well. And it might be very helpful to go ahead and put that in place. We are, as a firm, recommending that you all consider, doing that, because it will be a good start to creating a newer plan. But that's not the issue at hand at this time in this meeting.
Thank
Madam
you.
Chair.
just to get it approved faster.
Madam Chair.
Counselor Alexander.
So with this historical committee, once we do vote to establish one, will the council have a choice and the mayor have a choice to nominate or place people on that committee?
Well, it's according to Article 3, Section 66 of the city ordinances.
3, Section 66. Okay, I'll pull that.
Okay, the mayor nominates and the council confirms his nominations. It's kind of like the airport board
authority. Okay.
Authority. So that's how that's going to work this time. This commission.
Okay. Well, we have a council person that sits on the airport authority here in Bessemer.
But for the historic commission, a council person cannot sit on it.
Okay.
So,
and one thing about the qualifications on the historic commission is very different. It requires that certain qualification, like you live in a historic home, you live in a historic district, you also maybe have to, like a planner, architect, engineer, certain criteria they require on this. So we are helping look for people in Bessemer just by looking at professional things that people live in Bessemer. So we are helping to find some people that have professional qualifications. And the Alabama Historic Commission is also sending us names that they know of.
Do y'all have that article pulled up by chance that you could get to us so we can
We can send an article to y'all.
Yes.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much, Ms. Akoff, Ms. George. Thank you all. And when you send that 1973 information to us, please send that 2012 along with that article to us, and we'll do what's necessary to get it taken care of, and we can become a historic commission.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I live here, so I'm really interested, because I live right down the street from the downtown. So Dorothy does too. She lives on the north side. So we're really happy about this.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you all have
we got personal interest. We got personal investment in this.
Yes, ma'am, we do.
Yes.
Thank you so much, you all, and we look forward to that information today.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sorry for any confusion. We calls and we apologize.
That's okay. That's what we're
trying to be. Yeah, we're trying to be upfront and honest with y'all and try to bring everybody together to work with this, because like I said, it's needed.
And all you're getting, get an understanding.
Yes, ma'am.
And we should get an understanding before we move forward. Thank you so much to the both of you, and have a good day now.
Y'all do too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Item number 5, Ms. Taylor.
Item 5, plan of action for a community vaccination day. Ms. Raquel Smith.
I think Councilor Matthews was working with Ms. Smith. Ms. Smith, are you on?
Good morning.
Let Ms. Smith go. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Ms. Smith, how are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, we've been working together trying to get a community vaccination day in the city of Bessemer, because the numbers are still low with getting African Americans and minorities vaccinated. So we reached out to Dr. Reese. She's located at the Princeton Hospital location. She currently gives out the shots at the Birmingham City International Airport, and she's willing to work with us to get this done. We're shooting for July the 11th, 2021. It is a Sunday, because me and Mr. Matthews spoke, and we were really concerned about not having it overcrowded due to the crowd control and the number of people that we can have in the facility or outside the facility. So that's why we kind of went with a Sunday instead of a Saturday. The timing we're looking from is from 2 to 5, and we're hoping to reach out to the local churches, the south side of Bessemer, and other businesses and organizations in Bessemer to let them know that they could come out and also bring their children 12 and older to get vaccinated. I really think it'll be good for the city of Bessemer because it also will show us that we're trying to continue to educate everyone about the COVID and COVID safely and the vaccination clinics. And she's willing to work with us. She's also asking that we might could give her anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 to cover clerical staff. So if I could get some support with the COVID funding, or we could come together to kind of help her with the clerical staff part and get back with her on that. And we're also asking to use the Bessemer Recreation Center. I have an outline that I sent out. I can also email it to everyone if you all want to have the outline as well. But we're hoping to have it at the Bessemer City Rec Center. And we're asking for the Bessemer Police Department to help us with the crowd control and to facilitate the bathrooms outside. Pink Tops will provide water, masks, and sanitizers. We also will provide the promotion of the event with getting the radio station, news station, and local sponsors involved to help us to implement this. And we just want to see if we can still make this possible.
Counselors.
Madam Chair, if I may kind of
Yes, sir.
piggyback a little bit on what Miss Smith and I talked concerning some of the most, I guess, the one that kind of always raised question, and that is help out with some of the clerical from a financial standpoint. Now, Pink Tops is a 501c3. We know that's one. And two, this is COVID related. So my question would be to legal, which approach do you think would be the better approach? We know it's COVID related and not necessarily in this order. And two, we know that Pink Tops is 501c3. So from a estimation of $1,500 just for those persons that clerical staff persons would be receiving money. What do you all think about that, legal?
Attorney Harris, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Very well. I tend to prefer I'm much more certain about the public purpose doctrine and the use of. We've done this before, I believe, with the same organization. I'd be a bit uncertain as the use of the COVID funds for this particular purpose.
Okay, I just asked. I said that's why I said we know it's COVID related, but I didn't know to what degree it is, and they are. That's why I mentioned both.
Right.
Both sides.
But certainly.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the COVID vaccination clinic still going on at the Watermark?
Yes, ma'am. To my knowledge, it is.
It ends June 11th.
Okay, it's June. Okay, June. So it ends June the 11th. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And then your event is July the 11th.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
And let me add also, Dr. Reese will be providing the tent setups. We just need the police department to kind of help us with the traffic flow.
I'm glad you thought that. I forgot about that.
And she also said that she can give us an outline of the Pacific on how she's paying the staff as well too, if the city needs that for their records.
Yes, we will need that for our records because
I told her. She told me
records are hard to keep around here, so we need that for our records. Thank you.
No problem. She said she'll have that for you guys.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Miss Smith. So just for clarity, well, first of all, we want to thank you for thinking enough of the city of Bessemer to continue to work with us with in any capacity that you can for the growth and the protection of the citizens here in the city of Bessemer. I'm trying to be clear on, as far as in specifically, what is it that you are asking of the city of Bessemer? I heard the $1,500 as far as in for clerical assistance, the use of the rec center and police services for traffic control. Does that cover everything that's being asked of us, or is it something I missed?
No, ma'am, that's pretty much it. And access to the outside bathroom.
Okay.
Yes,
No
ma'am.
problem. Yes, ma'am. And this mainly is to help with the vaccinations, you know, for the young adults.
Yes,
For
ma'am.
okay.
Yes. For the minorities and the city of Bessemer. And also, you know, it is a 2-shot process. So she's willing to come out and do the second shot there. Or if we don't have a real big turnout, she can do them in office at Princeton Hospital. So that's also an option upon, I guess, as far as attendance, and if we're willing to let her to come back to do the second one. So I just wanted to throw that in there, just let y'all know it's not the Johnson & Johnson shot.
Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you.
One moment, Councilor Alexander. Ms. Smith, it's only one 1,500, is that correct?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
One time. Yes, ma'am. Councilor Alexander.
You answered my question. I was wondering, was it just 1,500? And I want to say thank you, Ms. Smith, for everything that you're doing, bringing the vaccine to the city of Bessemer and getting it out to our youth and our citizens. Thank you for everything that Pink Top does.
Absolutely. We're here to work together. Teamwork makes the dream work. I thank you guys for letting me be a part of it.
I'm seeing pink tops all over the city. Pink tops everywhere. Thank you, Ms. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Smith, for coming to us today. And that's July the 3rd, July the 11th.
Yes, ma'am. July the 11th from 2 to 5. And our goal with that Sunday is to kind of push members of churches to come out after service so they can kind of do it together and we can have a smooth process for them to get in and out. And a lot of the minorities are not aware that children 12 and older can get vaccinated now. So we're trying to educate them on also getting the young adults vaccinated as well.
And Attorney Harris, you did say that was a public purpose?
Yes, Council, but I believe just as much, it's probably going to fall right square within the COVID. So they both will be available.
Thank you. Thank you so much, COVID-19.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
And not only that, I know Miss Smith did say minority, but whosoever will, let them come, okay? We don't want to just focus on just minorities, but that's why it's a public purpose. Public is made up of everybody, okay? So I just want to say that for the record, because I don't want nobody to go out saying, well, it's just going to be for, no, it's for everybody, okay? In Bessemer, okay?
In and around that area.
Yes.
They can, in and around that area, they can come out. In and around Bessemer, they can come out to get that shot, the first, and then the second shot will be rescheduled for how many days is that out?
28 or 30. I'm not
30
sure.
days out to either come back to the rec center and or Princeton Hospital. Counselors, are there any more questions and or concerns for Ms. Smith? If not, we'll have Attorney Harris to draw up that resolution to be voted on next week. Thank you so much, Ms. Smith, for coming and caring for the city of Bessemer.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Item number 6, Ms. Taylor.
Item 6 is nurturing Golden Heart. Use the parking lot at the Bessemer Civic Center for drive-through Santa.
As you all can remember, on last year, well, I received a letter this year. On last year, Nurturing Golden Hearts and District Attorney Lanice Washington partnered to do the drive-by Santa, and they want to do the same thing on this year. on December the 17th of 2021. Counselors.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I think it's a great thing that Golden Nurturing Heart doing partner with the DA to do this. I remember they did this, I think last year, or the year before last as well. And a lot of kids were happy and excited about it, and it still was social distance. So I'm all for it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other counselors?
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Not a problem at all. I'm trying. Well, my question is I know. I mean, they've already created a partnership. Do you know whether they're open for further partnership? I'm just trying to do like a one-stop shop versus different entities being I guess throughout the city and people kind of double dipping on the resources. Do you? I mean, I'm more than certain you probably couldn't answer that question. But if I guess I'll take the initiative to kind of reach out myself to see if we could do a collaboration. But I mean, I think it's a wonderful idea to take in consideration of meeting the needs of the citizens here in the city of Bessemer at such a time as Christmas. Thanks again for Nurturing Hearts and our District Attorney, Lanice Washington.
Not only meeting the
Madam
needs.
President.
Yes, sir. Mayor Gully, go ahead.
Last year, obviously, the Civic Center was closed for during COVID. My question would be, what time is the Civic Center being requested, and have anyone checked on the availability of the Civic Center before? I guess it's first I've heard of, so I don't know. So I guess I need to speak with Civic Center staff to make sure there's no conflict.
Yes, sir. That was going to be my last statement, that we checked with Mr. Dawson to make sure there was no conflict in them using the outside and or the top in the back where we did distribute the produce and the meat. I will ask you, or I will do it, get with Mr. Dawson. If Mr. Dawson is on the line, Mr. Dawson, are you on the line? We'll get with Mr. Dawson and see whether or not that's a conflict. If so, he'll get with Nurturing Golden Hearts and see what can be done, or if they can change the date to another date. I think that's why they're coming to the council so early, so they can start off and get everything in order. But
Excuse me, Madam Chair, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Dawson is on the board of Nurturing Golden Hearts, so I'm sure when they made this collaboration, I'm pretty sure he checked the books to see. But I guess you will get with him.
Yes, ma'am. I'll ask Mayor Gully or I'll get with him to see what is available for Nurturing Golden Hearts, along with the District Attorney's Office. Thank you all so much. Item number 7, please.
Discussion on the status of Create Birmingham participants.
Mayor Gully.
Madam President, we reached out to Create Birmingham. They said they were unable and so to make it, and so today and would like to be rescheduled for another time.
We will place them on the agenda for next week.
Excuse me, Madam Chair.
Yes,
would
ma'am.
that next time, would they be available next week, council meeting with all the information that we requested? Because we are known for putting things off, and I'm tired of putting things off on the back burner. Will Create Birmingham be available with the paperwork that we need next week?
Councilor Alexander.
I've not received any paperwork or any requests from you all. I'll ask you and so to submit it and so to my office. I have no idea.
I'll get that to you. I'll get that to you today, Mayor Gully, before I leave City Hall.
Okay, and I have no idea whether what Create Birmingham schedule is, so I have no idea if they'll be available next week until we reach back out to it.
Okay, but they were available to come to give a presentation to accept the money. So they're not available to come to give an update, and that was stated in the resolution.
Mayor Gully, if possible, let us reach out to Create Birmingham, and we will put them back on the agenda for next week. If that is not possible, we'll ask them what day are they available to come and present to this body. But we will add them back to the agenda for next week. Item number 8, Ms. Taylor.
Item 8 is a discussion on amending resolution number 1143-16 regarding nonprofit.
Councilors, I think I placed that on after speaking with the city clerk and reading the resolution that we had in place. The applications does not come back in to the city clerk. The applications are not time stamped in by the city clerk. So I would ask this body to look at this resolution number 1143-16. And we will have all applications for nonprofit funding shall be submitted to the city clerk of the city of Bessemer between the first business day of June and the close of the second Friday in July. The city clerk shall date and timestamp each application and forward them to the council secretary. B, the council secretary shall distribute the application to the mayor and the members of the city council. 3, the mayor and the city council will convene in a public meeting to evaluate and discuss each application to determine whether it may be funded, the amount in which it will be funded, and under that condition, it will be funded. The city council may require any nonprofit agency requesting funds to make a presentation to the council prior to any funding decision. The application and review process shall be posted on the City of Bessemer's website. 2, administrative rules. The finance department then shall continue to develop and recommend rules to administer and account for assistance granted incoming, but not limited to requiring receipts of assistance, to make reports on how the assistance has been or will be spent, and to make or provide other reports as it deems reasonably necessary. Councilors, did you compare the two? I gave both of them to you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to just kind of speak to this application process as far as a nonprofit. I too concur that it needs to go through the clerk's office for the sake of accountability and for the sake of knowing when the citizens or potential recipients you stop us wanting to know the application process or whether their application was received first, second, third, or fourth, and for the 19th year in a row they have been eligible for assistance. It'll put us in a much more accountable place. Even if they don't qualify, we will be able to sit and say, well, your application was received in June versus the 5 or 6 recipients whose application was possibly received in April or March. So I think that this needs to be inserted into the process for the sake of accountability and for better record keeping for the city of Bessemer. Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I thought we had discussed one while back when we was discussing nonprofits that we need to look at, you know, kind of switching it around, not giving the same nonprofits the money. I mean, giving everybody else a chance too. We have multiple nonprofits that apply every year that's not able to get the money, but yet and still, we're still continuing to fund the same nonprofits. Now, I thought we discussed, you know, kind of letting everybody get a piece of the pie.
Well, Councillor Alexander, we cannot stop anyone from applying for the funds. It's up to this body to look at all applications and sit down with the mayor and discuss those applications. But we cannot just ask one 501c3 or one nonprofit to apply, and we cannot tell the other they can't apply.
No, I'm not saying that they can't apply. I'm just saying every year we give the same nonprofits money, and we have more than those nonprofits that's in the city or outside of the city, because we do fund a lot of nonprofits outside of Birmingham, outside of Bessemer. So that's what I was saying. I mean, everybody can apply, but we just have to.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you. We need to turn a mic off. Yes, ma'am, everybody can apply, but if everybody apply in the time limit, and this resolution, the update of this resolution will address that time limit and or date. If everybody apply within the time limit, we have to go by what we have. If they don't apply, we can't agree to help them with their 501c3, but they must apply within the timeline.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Madam Chair.
Councilor Marshall.
I heard Councilor Alexander talk about money being given to the same organizations. Well, I think we have to deal with, you know, who makes application, and then we have to deal with the merits of those who are asking for contributions. And if an organization is doing what we deem to be a good work, you know, that's what we ought to consider. And if they're doing a good work and we feel like they're doing a good work, it doesn't matter, in my opinion, how many times they get the money. And the other thing Councilor Crusoe mentioned, people may want to know if they were number 1, 2, 3, you know, in applications. Well, you know, we definitely won't be basing decisions on what number you were, as long as you get it in within the timelines that we established. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Councilor Matthews.
Go ahead,
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I agree with Councilor Marshall, I guess, from the concept that, you know, what I aforementioned was, I guess, you know, just expressed by him. It's not so much as who made application first, second, or third. It's more so kind of broadening out the resources. And I mean, I think, you know, we can't determine as to. I mean, and you did comfortably say, and which was a proper way of stating it in your opinion. You know, different organizations that we feel a bit partial or biased to, they may meet the need of certain entities or provide certain resources that we deem important in the community versus other organizations who may provide services or resources to a whole different group of people, or a group of resources that, you know, you may not, you know, deem as priority on your list. But nevertheless, it's all about, you know, giving everybody an opportunity not to continue to just serve one community in the city of Bessemer. We want to kind of spread the resources out to give everybody a chance. And some of these nonprofit organizations have not had a chance to reach their full capacity or potential as far as in what it is that they've been set out to do because of a lack of resources. But if we continue to keep pumping blood and donating blood to the same entities and same resources, then of course they'll be they'll therefore be valuable in the city of Bessemer.
Please
So
mute
again,
devices. One moment, Councilor Crusoe. Please mute your. Thank you. Go ahead, Councilor Crusoe.
yes, ma'am. If we continue to to keep pumping blood into the same entities, then of course they will remain strong and visible and viable within the city. But then at the same time, we have other nonprofit organizations who offer just as valuable resources too that we have not even given an opportunity to. So I just wish, what my desires are that we'll look a little deeper into the recipients of these nonprofit funds to make sure that everyone has a chance to shine as far as in offering providing their different services and resources to the citizens here in the Bessemer area. Thank you again, Madam Chair.
Madam President. Madam President.
One moment, Mayor Gilley. Yes, sir, Councilor Matthews.
I thought we were here to tweak and let this process go to the city clerk's office first. I thought that was the gist of this being on the agenda.
That was the gist.
Okay, can we and I guess my question, can we take that other part of it up about, I mean, can we agree on that first? I mean, that's what I'm trying to do, agree on that.
Yes, sir.
And then take that portion, what just been elaborated on for quite some time, and deal with that at another time, instead of, and let's get the resolution I'm talking about. Can we get that together? That's all.
Yes, sir. That is the gist of this. This being on the agenda was to, and the process is very simple, very, very simple. It comes into the city clerk to be time stamped and date stamped in, then to the secretary, from the secretary to the mayor and council, from the mayor and council, it'll go for discussion, and from discussion, it will go to the finance department. Everything else can be discussed at a later date because it will be in the council's hands. You all can do what is right about these nonprofits. What we're here for today is to discuss and to tweak 1143-16. That's what we're here for today. And I think with the council's approval, this will tweak 1143-16. That way it'll have some accountability, go where it needs to go for discussion and or dispersion of the funds. Mayor Gully.
Madam President, I guess just a comment or observation is that I think in my opinion, it does not matter how many nonprofits and so submit, or whether the same nonprofit is chosen each year, because in my opinion, I think it's the job and so for the mayor and council to vet each one of those organizations and see what services they are providing and stuff to the city. You may be able to get 50 nonprofits, but what is the validity of those nonprofits, and what are they providing, services are they providing and stuff for the city? So you may have one quite naturally that gets approved each year, and you may not get another one, but I think they all and stuff should stand each year on their own to see and stuff whether the services that they're offering or providing is what and stuff the city needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I agree.
You're absolutely correct, Margelli. And what we're here for today is to tweak, as we said, 1143-16, and this simple process right here will update 1143-16. If there's no more concerns and or questions, we will have Attorney Harris to get the resolution together, and we'll vote on it on Tuesday.
Madam President, one quick. I do agree with Councilman Matthews, Mayor Gully. I just want the council to sit down before we do anything and, go over some stricter guidelines, because a lot of things that we do and have for the nonprofits, the city already provides. A lot of those programs are through the DARE program, some of them, and we just bump heads with some of the nonprofits. So we really need to sit down and go over this. Thank you.
We'll sit down and we'll go over it. This is just the resolution as to how the application is vetted. That's all this resolution serves as. When it comes in, then the council will sit down and talk about whatever it is that needs to be discussed concerning the 501c3's nonprofit. We'll have Attorney Harris to draft up that update on resolution number 1143-16, and we will vote on it on next week. Item number 9, please, Ms. Taylor.
Yes, ma'am. Discussion on summer camp 2021 at Bessemer Recreation Center.
I think this was an item, a question came up concerning this item from Councilor Alexander. Is there a representative here and/or Mayor Gully, is there someone here from the rec center?
I think I did see Mr. Woodard on the line.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
yes, myself and Mr. Woodard is on the line.
Yes, sir. I don't see Mr. Woodard, but good morning, Mr. Woodard.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. If you give me the opportunity to just ask some questions, that's all about the summer program. I know that we talked about it on council meeting, but planning session was more appropriate. For the summer program, I'm looking at the budget right now. How many kids do y'all plan on having in the summer program?
I think we had a capacity in the past, we've done 80 children. We had a 50% capacity due to COVID. So it would be 40 students in the program.
And on the budgeted item, it says y'all are budgeted for the summer program expenses for $30,000 with 50 students. With 50, let me see, hold up, so that's 30,000.
I think you said 40.
So, for 40 students, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how much would the employees be getting of this money? Because the program, the camp program is $525, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
Mr. Woodard,
if we did the 525, that's 57 children for the 30,000, but we're gonna do at 40 children, right?
That's correct.
That's 21,000. So the other 9,000 will go to expenses for staff, or because Mrs. Miller is the one that's doing the program, right?
Mr. Woodard, I'll let you speak and so to the specifics and so of the program, but obviously, as we stated many times before, when we putting together and stuff a budget, it's a forecast and stuff based on the fact of what we anticipate. When it becomes in such a situation and stuff where actual reality comes in, 50% or whatever and stuff number and stuff that is so chosen and so forth and such the program, then and so of course the numbers will have to be adjusted. But I'll let Mr. Woodard speak to the staff. Mr. Woodard.
Excuse me, before Mr. Woodard starts speaking, do we have a contractual agreement with Ms. Miller? And also, if any child get harmed or hurt, who would be responsible? Would the city of Bessemer be liable? Because I don't see the city of Bessemer circulating a flyer. Ms. Miller is circulating a flyer. The city of Bessemer hadn't put out any advertising. And I see in your budget, y'all have advertising for $10,000. So I haven't seen the rec center advertise this. Would you like to speak to that effect, Mr. Woodard?
Yes, I didn't know if the mayor had finished or not. Now, your question would you start over again, please? Because I thought you asked a couple of different questions. What we
Okay, I was asking why are they being charged at $525 if it's a budgeted item for $30,000? With the out of $30,000, we're gonna have 40 kids that attend. That's $21,000 out the budgeted money. Why are we having a flyer saying that it's $525 when it's supposed to be free when it's a budgeted item? And also, do we have a contractual agreement with Ms. Miller? And I stated as well, y'all have an advertisement agreement up under this budget for $10,000. I haven't seen the rec center advertised. I only seen Miss Miller's advertisement, and the advertisement she said was $525 when this is a budget item that the kids can go for free. And that's why I asked, will we be paying Miss Miller for her services? And if so, have we went into contract with Miss Miller?
To answer those questions, first of all, to start with, no, there is no contract. That's the answer to that question. The budget, when we did the budget, we projected this back before COVID, and we were looking at the 30,000, usually sometimes around 60,000. But based on the numbers that we looked at, cutting it to 40 because of normal would be around 80 to 90 kids. We did it at 40. We worked out the expenses. We divided that number by the expenses, and that gave us the amount of $525. And when you cost that out, we were not going to spend $30,000 unless our numbers reflected that, and we would divide that into $30,000 based on the expenses to come up with what our cost would be. There's no surplus because, from my understanding, I project the budget. And if we only enroll 40 kids at $25, then that's what the budget is. It will show, I guess, a deficit of $10,000, but we would not spend $10,000. It wouldn't be there. It's not a number, to my understanding, that's there. It's what I project as the budget, because the 30,000 I said was before COVID. And now this is the actual of what it would be. And your other question about the budget, and I'm sorry, what was the other question, ma'am?
My other question is, why is it being advertised for $525 when it's supposed to be free when it's a budgeted item?
Okay. I think that's something the mayor would have to speak to in terms of being free. I can't speak to that. Because
you said Ms. Miller don't have a contract, so.
One moment, Counselor, let him finish so that the city clerk's office can get everything that they need, and then you come back with your other question. Mr.
Go ahead, sorry.
Okay. When you say the rec, we were limited. One of the reasons our advertising we did try to do some advertising after we had gotten some permission to open. We've been holding back because we didn't know when we were going to open. People were calling, we told them we can't say anything until the council and or the mayor gives me the directive that we're going to open the rec center. At this point, we got that, I think at the last council meeting, the resolution that we would be open. And we've been trying to, even at the last meeting, it was still hesitant whether or not we could advertise, whether it would be approved. So we went ahead, the mayor said, go ahead, at least we'll attempt to put it out there. But as far as our advertising, we do have it in there. The advertising and I think everything else. When you asked about being free, I think the mayor needs to address that, because my understanding is when I indicate to him in my budget that this is what we're going to charge based upon what we're going to bring in for a particular program. And this program, I don't understand it to be free. If it were, we would have, the last, 3 or 4 years, we have not made this program free. We've charged.
Madam President, let me speak to that. The the program is not a free program. It's a program just like any budgeted and sub item, just like uniforms that you have to put in there, just like anything that you put in to run and stuff a rec center. If we was talking about a free program, you would have to put in a whole lot more than $21,000. What the program is a wash. Okay, so you have to budget a certain amount for the program. As each individual comes in, pay $525, it comes up to the $21,000 that's in and stuff to budget. So there is no free money and stuff there, but you still have to budget an amount. And when individuals come in and pay the $525 at the end and stuff of the budget, it's a wash. Just like the uniforms, just like and so anything that you purchase relevant and stuff to a rec center.
So my question still wasn't answered. You said it's a wash. I don't understand. If this money, if we put this $30,000 to the side, what are we using the $30,000 for then if the kids are paying $525? We're in a low income city. People don't have $525 to pay for their kids to go to the rec center.
I don't see how you don't understand the meaning of a wash.
Well, I understand the meaning of a wash and when you washing money in other ways. Now I understand that meaning, but I don't know what you're saying as a wash in a budget and budgeted funds that's already put to the side.
Oh, we have to put in a certain amount for a program. If that program is $30,000 for the program, we decide on 40 individuals and it's 21,000. Only 21,000 of that 30,000 will be spent. Okay, 21,000 is placed in the budget. As each individual, 40 children come in and spend $525, that comes to $21,000. So now, in all actuality, and so the city did not have to pay anything for the program. You had to budget an amount for the program, but it became a wash when each one of the students came in and paid themselves their $525 for the program, the same way the program has been ran for the last 5 years, with exception for the pandemic year. I don't know how to say it.
So 21,000 is only going to be used, and Miss Miller nobody will be paid. So we're only using 21,000 to go towards the kids. When they pay the money back, we're going to wash the money to put back into the budget that we've already set aside in the budget for. I'm just trying to get an understanding. I'm still not understanding this because we own the rec center. Why our kids can't go there free? This is a low income community. People don't have $525.
One moment, please. One moment. Councilor Alexander, are you finished?
I'm finished because none of my questions were answered.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir, Councilor Marshall.
Now, let me see if I understand, and I hope I do. And Mr. Woodard or the mayor, you correct me. We do have a free, so to speak, summer program that any of our kids can go to at the rec center and participate. But we also have this paid program that offers much more than the free program. And that's because yes, a low income community, but there are some parents who are willing and able to pay the $525 so that their children get something that's a little bit more, field trips and some other things. But that's still not denying our children activities at the rec center whose family maybe can't afford $525. So to me, it's two different programs. One is a budgeted program, and you're just gonna only use the money that's necessary to carry out the program. And based upon what has been said by Mr. Woodard, the number of children, kind of break it out in terms of what the cost has to be for those who choose the program at 525. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Councilor Crusoe.
I'm waiting on the answer as to whether or not it's two different programs down there. And also, if it is two different programs, I mean, I haven't seen any type of advertisement notifying the community of these free summer programs for the citizens here in the city of Bessemer. So I'm waiting on that answer. And then if we've had to cut this program in half from 80 down to 40 occupants or participants due to COVID, what other room do we have for a free program? I'll be quiet and await the answer as to whether we have two different programs or not.
Mr. Woodard.
Madam President.
One moment, Mayor Gully, one moment. One, let me make sure I understand that there are two programs at the Recreation Center. Is that correct?
That is incorrect. That's incorrect, Madam President.
Okay.
We have two programs, summer programs, and so for the city, as all of you are aware. We have the Camp Bessemer program, which is a $200,000 free program for anyone who wants to attend Camp Bessemer program. However, we have a paid program at the rec center, for those who might want to attend a different program, to attend a program where they as someone mentioned, receive a little bit more because they are paying and so forth. So you have two programs. You have a Camp Bessemer program, which is free, which is a very good program and stuff as well. But you also have a little bit more of a upscale program and stuff where you're paid and stuff to get a little bit more. It's as simple as that.
Thank you.
Yes,
so
sir.
we
Thank
do
you, Mayor
not.
Gully.
Wonderful.
I'm sorry.
One moment, Councilor Crusoe, let me clear up, let me get a clearance.
Sure.
So we do not have two programs at the recreational center. That is correct. Now, do we have Camp Bessemer at the rec center?
No.
Madam President, you got a copy of the budget. And so for Camp Bessemer, all of you got a copy from Dr. George Bowles. And so of the criteria for the program for Camp Bessemer. I don't have one before me, but I did see that there were a very good enriched programs in the Camp Bessemer program. The council donated $100,000. Navigate donated another $100,000. So there's a $200,000 program that's built in that was submitted to you all by Dr. George Bowles. So I don't know what all she had included in her program, but I did see at that particular time there was a very good enriched program for the city of Bessemer.
Yes, sir. That is a wonderful program. I have 5 that attends that program. That's why I asked the question. Did we have it at the rec center? Because I don't remember and I don't recall. I think I asked that question. I was told that it would not be at the rec center. That was my reason for asking. Now that I have clarity that we don't have a free program at the recreation center, it is a paid program. My next question is, who pays the instructor or instructors? If it's only 21 and we got 30 there, we're only going to use 21. Let's get some clarity on that. If we're only going to use 21 and we have 30 there that's budgeted for that, and or who's going to pay the instructor in this program?
Madam President,
Yes.
Mr. Woodard, would you speak to and clarify the employees and the pay, or I'm not singling out any particular individual, but will you speak? That would be an administrative. That would be another line item other than the the pay line item for and so the students that are participating in the program. But Mr. Woodard, I'll let you speak to the employees and staff in the way that in the item that.
Yes, ma'am. Maybe I could shed some light and clarity on what being asked about the other program and advertising. We have advertised for the program. We did put flyers in the schools before the schools closed per reference to our program. The biggest hesitant, as I said before, I could not move. I could not open the rec. I could not advertise. I could not do anything until I got some clarity as to where we're going to go. So the advertising was out there. No, it was not out in December, January, February, March, April. No, it was not, because we could not advertise, but it went out, and it went out to all the elementary schools in the city of Bessemer before the schools closed. And it was also on our website and our social media and Facebook pages. Per my advertising person who does that. And the other part to it is that the staff are being paid. If you think you have a copy of the budget, and it shows staff members that are being paid and or a paid for the program. When I think the confusion is that the city, that when I say the city, the summer program for the Park and Rec Department is what we've always had. The component, the mayor wanted me to make sure that we start doing more enrichment. We do enrichment. This was an opportunity no different from me saying, we're gonna offer an archery program. And with an archery program, that's an emphasis, but it does not create my total program. If that program is not a part of the writing program, is not a part of this, the program will continue on, just like it was would have been any other city program that we offer. So that's probably confusion when you say we have two programs down here. We only have a component, whether it would be basketball, tennis. One year we had a tennis camp, basketball camp. That didn't work very well independently because most of our parents, when you say, why do we offer $500? They're here almost 10 hours. It's roughly about $50 or so a week if you break it out. And that's why the program is from our perspective, and it's a paid program because it's basically a babysitting program for all day. I think Camp Bessemer, I'm not sure what time it ends, but I know it's not all day. And that's a free program. So I'm hoping that clarifies a little bit for the length. We're here for 10 hours on our program. And we have field trips. As you can see, we go to the movies. We have an award ceremony at the end. All of that is cost into this program. We are not doing as many field trips as we have done in the past. So it's not cost in because of COVID. We're only doing a movie. And then those components that we're doing for enrichment are part of the program. Just like they go to swimming, they go to enrichment, they go to basketball, that's enrichment. We have tennis outside. We have soccer that is infused into our summer program.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair. One moment, Councillor Alexander. Councillor Crusoe.
Thank you, Mr. Woodard, for that clarity and explanation. I don't think that we're clear as to getting to the meat of the issue right here. It's not in question as to how long that the kids are being enriched or entertained or babysat or whatever term we want to use here. I mean, as to how long that they're there for throughout the day, how many days of the week that they're there. That, you know, I don't think that that's, or who's running the program, you know, that's not really the concern of the council, and I don't think that those are the questions which have been presented. I think the meat of the matter here is that we budgeted $30,000 for a program to be facilitated at the Bessemer Rec Center. If $30,000 have been set aside to cover the expenses of this program, and the kids or families or parents are being required to pay $525, since there is a cost to this program, I guess another question would to put on top of the others, which have not, in my opinion, have not been answered. Where will those funds go that we are receiving from these parents for this summer program? I mean, although money has already been set aside, when we do receive this $525 per child, where does that money go?
President, look, let me say this, because I don't know how and stuff to explain or wash no better than I already and stuff have. You actually would not be paying and stuff anything. You're budgeted and stuff the amount there, and that the individuals will come in, pay $525, which and stuff would be $21,000. Only $21,000 of the $30,000 will be used, that as in any funds go back into the general fund and stuff of the city and stuff of Bessemer. And so I mean, I'm at a loss here, because I don't understand how, if I'm telling 21,000 is going to be used, what makes up that 21,000 is individuals coming in paying $525 and so for and so a 8-week program, which translates into about $65,000, which translates into about $65 a week, and so for a 8-hour and so program goes back to the general fund at the end of the program. And so the city and stuff did not pay, quote unquote, anything. You put an amount there, it's a wash as the people paid and stuff for the program. Just as if you put X amount of dollars there for uniforms, when individuals pay and stuff for football or baseball, as you come in and you pay for your uniform, and so it becomes and stuff a wash and stuff to and stuff the city, because those funds were paid for by and stuff the parents who chose for their children to utilize and stuff the program. So I mean, I'm done. I don't know what's done. I mean, what more and stuff to say? Because the 21,000, it was $30,000 put in there. Only 21,000 of that and stuff is going to be utilized. Of that 21,000, when each of the 40 students come in at $525, that and stuff is absorbed in 21. So it's a wash and stuff at that particular point. So you actually didn't pay anything in the budget for the program. It was an amount that was forecast or anticipated for the program. As each and sub parent came in and paid for their child, it absorbed that 21,000.
So it's just it's almost as though they're not paying anything. So at the end of the city's not paying anything. So at the end of the year, when we look at the budget, we should see that $30,000 still there, because the children's parents are paying that $525. So which means the city's money is still sitting there. If we get the 40 children, that'll be 21,000. And when we look at it again, we have not and should not have paid anything into anything, because they have already paid the $525. So when we look at the budget again, that $30,000 should still be there. If I'm understanding correctly, because the children's parents have paid for them to have camp. We didn't pay anything. The children's parents paid for them to have camp. Councilor Alexander.
Okay, so if the 21,000 and we see 30,000, how are we going to pay the staff, and how are we going to pay this young lady, Miss Miller? I mean, I know her time is not free, so how will we pay her? And again, I just want to know, is the council over finance?
Well, yes, ma'am, the council is over finance.
And do all contracts not have to come through the council?
To my knowledge, they're supposed to.
Okay. And like I said, with the 21,000, do we have 40 students that's registered for this program? Because summer is here. So do we have 40 students already that has applied, or parents that has applied or registered for this program? Do we know we will have 40 students? And if we do have 40 students, that's 21,000. How would the staff get paid?
That's a question for Mr. Woodard. I cannot answer.
Madam President.
Yes, Mr. Woodard, will you answer that question and I'll get to you, Councilor Collier. Mr. Woodard, will you answer that question, please?
They will be paid according to if we get the 40 students. To date, no, we do not have the 40 students in the program. Everything is pending. It's even pending, after this meeting, if it doesn't go, those that have, we've attempted to register will be given a refund, and we would scratch the program. If I don't get the money in, I can't pay the staff, except for those that are budgeted to be paid in the program.
And will those refunds come before the council? If you have to submit any refunds to any parents, would those come before the council?
That's a normal procedure that we do for any refunds. We send those in the council. I send those up to City Hall, to the clerk's office, and then they are, and they go from there.
Thank you so much.
I don't do them down here. I'm sorry if I sound like we don't do them from here.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And
yes, sir, go ahead.
The only, and that's something I hope that will be cleared up, because if as the mayor said, if the program is in your summation as a council, that the program is free, then we've been charging and making that wash, having that money available when I do the budget. The same challenge I'm going to have, should I have to come before you, is with uniforms for football, for basketball, for any other program, because I have to project that in the budget. Well, I don't have to, but I put it in the budget to say we're going to have 300 football players, and it's $1 a piece. So I show $300 in the budget. And then if I don't get but 200 football players, I will only have $200 in the budget. But for budgeting purposes that I present to the mayor, it would be $300, because that's a projection that I want to have 300 kids. The same thing with staffing and costing the staffing in to pay. No staffer even in this program will be paid if the money is not there and we don't have the kids. So right now I'm struggling because I've been really a little hesitant to do too much advertising, because I don't know where I am. I still don't know. I've been in limbo as to when we open, when the program is going. Can we have the program? So I'm hoping that I can still full-fledged advertise today, because I'm still holding.
Well, I'm on the website and I see it's not a flyer, but someone typed it into your Facebook page on May the 26th. I was looking at that as an advertisement on May the 25th. I'm sorry, the Bessemer Rec Center. It's just a typing, it's not a flyer. And I'm glad that you said something about mention the football team, because that will be coming up in August. And I know in the years past, I think the registration fee was $180. Now, do we collect the concession fee money? Because I know it's been, in my term, they haven't had money to go to any championships or anything like that. So, I mean, we could talk about this another time, but.
Yes, ma'am. We'll talk about that, the football at another time. We want to go ahead and discuss this, this camp. Let us get this camp out of the way. Mr. Woodard.
Madam President.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, Councilor Collier, go ahead.
Madam President, thank you, Mr. Woodard, for clearing all that up. We do want to say, the certain members of the council, we dropped the ball. Those who voted against not to open the rec up on time, you dropped the ball. I'm saying a lot of this could have been avoided if you just would have opened the rec at an earlier time. We got to take responsibility for what we did. as a whole, those who voted against it and those who voted for it. You know, a lot of this could have been eliminated. And could we move on with the next item? Because this is taking entirely too long.
Councilor Collier, you said what you need to say. Now allow someone else to say, this is a planning session.
Madam Chair.
And allow another counselor to say whatever it is they need to say. That's how you see it in your perspective. But let us hear from another.
I do, but some council members are going
Marshall,
too long about it.
Councilor
going 5
Marshall.
and 6 times. That don't make any sense. 5 and 6 times saying the same thing. You heard it.
Please mute that mic. Please mute that mic. Councilor Marshall.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
We have run this program for the last, am I unmuted?
Yes, sir, you are.
Oh, okay, okay. So, you know, Mr. Woodard has run this program for the last couple of years. And, you know, there's a cost to running the program that they've figured out, the cost to run the program, the administration, to take care of the salaries, the field trips. So I don't understand, you know, the costs for the program are covered, you know, whether we got 40 kids or 25 kids, if we get money for 25 kids, that money will be used to cover the expense of the program. I just don't know. And, you know, yeah, the council does have oversight of the finances, but I think we take that a little too far. I mean, when we pass the budget, you know, I think we've done the major part, but as a council, we cannot try to micromanage every program in the city. You know, we can get the documentation in terms of the money that's projected for the programs. That's the same thing if we need to buy tires for the city. Are we gonna try to micromanage the department that needs tires by finding out who they're buying the tires from, what size tires? We just need to let the program run. It has been a successful program for the last couple of years, and I just don't understand why we waste so much time, spend so much time trying to micromanage programs that have been successful. I think we need to move on, offer the program to the parents who are willing to pay the $525. The $525 is in there to cover the cost of the program. I'm sure it covers the salaries, the field trips, the t-shirts, everything that's offered in the program is being covered. It's like the city really does not pay for that. The parents pay for that. And those parents who want to pay for it should be given the opportunity. I mean, we shouldn't be holding up that. And I agree with Councilor Collier. We're already behind. We need to move on with the program. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Councilor Marshall. I think when it's a planning session, this is good therapy for everyone. There's nothing like an understanding. And when we can't get an understanding, that is when things go to the left, you all, when we can't get an understanding. And I can understand that Councilor Alexander, Crusoe, Donald, whomever, want an understanding, but the way I had to put it together was just like this. When we look at the budget again, if we have those 40 students, that's $21,000 that was paid to the rec center that did not come out of the city of Bessemer's line item. That line item should be still the same because we did not pay any fundings for these children to go to the rec center. Their parents paid the funding. I got that portion. There were several questions that were not answered. One was, if something happens to a child or anyone, who would be responsible? Well, I did get with legal on that, and it would be the city of Bessemer. Now, I looked through this package and I see that we've had the basketball camp and we've had several camps. I think this one just supersedes others. It's not one component. It's several, it's just one component. It's not one component, it's several components, because I even looked in there and they have a foreign language in there. I would ask this body if we could just, as we look at our budget for next year, we should see these fundings. If this camp it runs the 40 children, we should see that $30,000 on the budget in a line item from.
Madam President.
Yes, sir.
Madam President.
Yes, sir.
I cannot, in such a good faith, leave with you making that comment, because that's incorrect. If I put $20,000 in a budget and so for a program, and if 4 people comes in and pay $500, and so then that's going to drop. The first person that pay $500 is going to drop the $20,000 down to 15, and so the next person is going to drop it down to 10, so forth and so on. So at the end of the program, you won't still have money there. It would be a zero wash. You fronted the money, and so for the program at $21,000. When each one of these 40 parents come in and pay $525, you are deducting from that $21,000. So at the end of the program, it's a zero wash. It wouldn't be any money that's still sitting there. It would be a zero wash, because each one of those parents is paying against what you've already put there.
Madam President.
Councilor Thigpen.
I think what we have is a lack of understanding of what a balanced budget is, because Mr. Woodard has put in $30,000 expense for a camp program. He has also put in $30,000 expected revenue. So when you don't have $30,000 expected revenue, you don't spend $30,000 expenses. It's not that you're going to have it left over. You're not going to spend as much because you're not going to take in as much. I don't know how to explain it any simpler than that.
I totally understand. Councilor.
Madam Chair.
Councilor Matthews.
Okay, thank you.
Councilor Matthews.
You know what? We I don't have any question about the portion of the budgeted amount right now, but I do have a question that came up, I think, in a previous council meeting concerning Attorney Payton was on the line then, and I think the question was to him concerning staffing. And I guess my question would be, do we have two different staffing elements? Do we have park and rec, and we have an outside entity? Is that what that's what I've been hearing? I'm good on the budgeted part. If you put 30 in, and I understand it, but I'm talking about from the standpoint of running the program. Mr. Woodard, do we have the staffing from that works at the rec center and someone else as well?
I'm sorry. Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. So now that's the first question. So I know the staffing at the rec center gets paid through city park and rec. how does this outside person or entity get paid?
Through Parks and Rec.
Okay, now if it's through Parks and Rec, uh, that is, and that's the part that I want to understand. How is it that if we can do two different programs, Camp Bessemer and through Parks and Recs, who you say that outside entity is, how can we pay them without a and if it's through a budget? Okay, I understand that. Okay, well, Camp Bessemer is budget too. Okay, now, well, how can we pay them without a contractual agreement? That's my only question that I have. Attorney or anybody?
Madam
Attorney.
Chairman.
Okay,
so
Attorney Payton, go
So I guess
ahead.
the question is, you have employees in Camp Bessemer that are paid through the Camp Bessemer budget. I would envision this the same way, that any outside employees are paid direct, just like they are in the Camp Bessemer budget. So you'll pay, I think in here it's showing employees, 3 employees at 10,080. And Mr. Wood would have to speak if those are inside employees or outside employees. And then there's an administration fee, 7,000. I think he would just have to explain how that is, but I don't see that any differently than how you pay the employees in Camp Bessemer.
But, well, okay, go ahead.
So, I mean, it's a budgeted item, right? So you're going to have $21,000 budget and you're paying these employees just like you pay them. You have a Camp Bessemer budget of 200,000. You have employees that are listed there that are paid. It's the same thing.
Okay, well, the question came up at our last meeting and you said you would have to get all the facts. And so I guess you have all the facts now, right? Am I correct?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I have all the facts, but I gathered what the information you have in your package is what I gathered. There's a budget in there. There's a curriculum in there and flyers. Those are all the things that I gathered in meeting with Mr. Woodard and the mayor last week to give you.
Okay, yeah, I see that. Yeah, I see that. And I was just asking that question because it was still left from last week. So I just wanted to know if you have I just, like I said, I didn't know.
Sure. It's my understanding, I think the 3 employees, Mr. Woodard, they're outside employees also. They're not just, or those aren't just staff employees. Those are outside employees. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
And then the writing component is,
Uh-oh.
the writing component is you have a lady that's bringing in the writing curriculum. What's her name?
Mrs. Miller.
Ms. Miller, and she's being paid a fee to do the writing component. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Madam Chair,
And that's out of the Camp Bessemer budget.
I'm sorry.
I mean, not Camp Bessemer. That's out the Park and Rec, right?
That's correct. That's out of that budget that you were given.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That was that's the only question I had. Thank you.
Madam Chair, excuse me, can I just say one more thing? Can I speak?
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
When I calculated all this up and it said the employees, 3 outside employees, 10,000, administration, 7,000, transportation, movies and all that total of 1,000, field trips, 960, supplies, 1,428, 40 children at 525, that's 21,000. It came up to over $40,000 and they're only budgeted for 30. So where do we get this money from?
Madam Chairman, this is Shan. The budget I show you on there, if you look at it, that says 2021 summer camp tentative budget. If you add all of those line items together, and I have to say I did not add all those together, but it looks like it should be about accurate. If you add the 10,000 to 7,000, each one of those line items, that comes to the $21,000. So I don't understand the question.
So I only see the summer camp at 525051 summer camp expenses for budget item 2021 at 30,000, and then advertising 525050 at 10,000. So that's $40,000. I don't see the other summer camp stuff. If I'm missing something, please tell me what line item it is.
What I'm telling you is you were provided in your package a 2021 summer camp tentative budget. And that was what they've been speaking about during this meeting.
This here, what I added up to 40,000. But in the budget that the council approved, it's only 30,000 for that line item. But okay.
Madam Chair,
Thank you, Attorney Payton. Let me say this, let us, Mr. Woodard, will you come back to us with an end of the year summation as Camp Bessemer does?
Yeah. We'll go per the mayor. Yes, I will.
Yes.
Madam President, I work with Mr. Woodard and stuff to bring back and stuff an assessment or synopsis and stuff of the program once the program is complete. Yes, I will.
Thank you so much. We'll go from there with any other questions. And I think at that time we'll have actual numbers and we can speak in real time with instead of budgeted numbers. Thank you so much, counselors.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
Now, does this mean that we're going to be prepared next week, or Mr. Woodard is given the go ahead to get the program underway and do what is necessary?
Yes, sir. If you just had let me finish. Yes, sir.
Okay.
We'll have
a
resolution. Attorney Payton will prepare a resolution. We can go ahead and vote on it to have this summer program 2021 and look forward to the end of the year summation with real-time numbers instead of budgeted numbers. Thank you so much.
Madam President.
Yes,
Madam
sir.
President.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The summer program is a budgeted item. Why would we need a resolution to do what's already been budgeted? The funding is already there. We will come back and we will give an assessment. We will give
Please mute your devices. I cannot hear the mayor. Please mute your devices. Go ahead, Mayor Gully.
Madam President.
Yes, sir.
I'm saying that this is a budgeted item. Why would an additional resolution be needed and stuff for a summer program that's already and stuff been budgeted in the budget? We can come back after the program and stuff is over and give you all a complete update and stuff of the numbers, how the program and stuff went. I just fail to realize how, if you've already voted on the summer program, why would another resolution be needed? Thank you.
One, because this is a planning session and we cannot vote right now to say whether or not to, unless we're going to come back to say yay and or nay. Hold on. Attorney Payton. Attorney Harris, are you on the line? Attorney Harris.
He's here at City Hall, Madam Chair.
I see him. I don't see him right there. I know he's here at City Hall. Attorney Payton, I can ask you this question.
Yes, ma'am.
This body can, in good conscience, go ahead and give Mr. Woodard the okay to start that program without a resolution on today.
Well, I'm like the mayor on this one. If it's a budgeted program under the summer camp, I would think he could proceed under that budgeted item and run the program and then come back and give you a report at the end.
Thank you so much. Counselors, we will go ahead and give the okay, if it's all right with this body, for that summer camp 2021 to run there at the Bessemer Rec Center, and look forward to a summation at the end of that camp. Thank you all for that discussion. Item number.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir. Councilor Matthews.
Well, that's what I was trying to get your attention for. We've already given the okay, unless someone wants to come with another resolution to contradict the budget that we've already passed. That's all I was trying to say.
I do apologize, but I try to answer as I hear. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Councilor Matthews. Item number 10, please.
Discussion on list of properties owned by the city of Bessemer.
Attorney Payton.
Yes, ma'am. You had, I think you guys had requested that last week, and this is the list of the foreclosed properties that we have. And just for the record, the first 3 properties on there were given to the council, and twice in 2017 and twice in 2020. So the council has had those lists of those 3 properties for quite some time. The only other exception is the number 2 19th Street North and 1826 Alabama Avenue. That's the one that you declared surplus, but then have determined not to place that out for sale. So
I don't see the Sweet House on here.
I think that's the 1830 Arlington Avenue, I think is the Sweet House.
Is that? That's not what's on there. Okay, thank you. That's not what I pulled it up by.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
is the IDB board a part of the city of Bessemer? Is that an entity of the city of Bessemer?
The IDB is a separate corporation. Yes, ma'am.
So it's not part of the city of Bessemer?
I mean, it is a component, what I would call a component unit. It is a separate corporation. And it has, if any property that it owns would be in the name of the Industrial Development Board of the city of Bessemer.
Okay, can we send a request to get those properties for the IDB board in cooperation with the city of Bessemer?
I'm sure you can. And I think there was a request out there, and I thought it had been turned over to them to provide you with a list of properties. I don't see
No,
that.
we still haven't received that list. That's why I'm requesting it again, all the properties that the IDB board owns.
I have not received that list. I did get with Attorney Harris, and a letter did go out some time back, and we have not received.
I will check on that.
The IDB board's list.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir, Councilor Marshall.
My question to Attorney Payne, with the IDB board being a separate entity, I guess we can ask, but they have no obligation. Am I correct?
You know, I legally, I don't know. You know, I don't know that they would be subject to a public records request, but I don't know that that certainly would be an issue. They're what I'd call a sibling of the city. You know, the city council appoints the council members, and I mean the IDB board members, and I don't see an issue in them providing you with a list of the properties that they have.
Angela. Yeah, great. Get on.
Thank you, Attorney.
Answer. Come in here and answer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Attorney Harris, are you on the line? Attorney Harris.
Look like he's muted, Madam Chair.
He's standing right here. I need, what day did we, turn it up, put that out there. Has there been a letter that went out to the IDB board requesting the properties that they have under the name of the city of Bessemer?
I do believe so, several months ago.
Several months ago. Now, are they
I'm relatively sure that, but I believe it was.
Okay. By law, are they obligated to send those properties to answer that letter?
I believe they may have some obligation to answer.
Come on over. You can come
being
on.
an order of the city. I think it's obligated to answer.
Okay. Attorney Page said he didn't see a reason why they didn't, they could not answer. I just wanted to make sure both of you all were on the same page.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you so much. Item number 11, please.
Item 11, discussion on HUD's request for reimbursement.
Mayor Gully, that came from your office and/or.
Good morning, good afternoon, Madam President and council members. This is Terrain Norris, Mayor Gully's chief of staff.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Madam President. You all should have had in your packet a letter that I forwarded to the mayor on this particular item, his request for reimbursement of the Community Development Block Grant Fund. It goes into an explanation of essentially why they were requesting those funds, and there should have been a separate attachment that gives some guidance on what particular areas they were requesting it from and the breakdown in terms of funding for those potential areas. So are there any questions from the council this morning?
Yes, sir. I do have some questions. One question I did not see. I see that you said it came from HUD, but I don't see anything that that has relevance to HUD. I just have a plain piece of paper here that has June the 1st, 2021, and to Mayor Gully, and it's from you. One, I would ask for this body, since we're being asked to refund funding, I would ask that we could see the actual correspondence that came from HUD concerning these reimbursements. I even see some on here from 1998. Is there a problem with the council seeing that the actual document of the correspondence that came from HUD?
Madam President, this is Mr. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You go ahead.
Yeah, we can get that to you. This is just a letter I sent to the mayor. It's a couple of them, but we can get that to the city council.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Norris. And can you tell me what's the actual date of that letter?
Let's see, we have been discussing this with HUD for the last year. We actually requested an extension or two because they actually sent some of this in the middle of the pandemic, and we actually told them that we had to look at our finances and seeing was this something that was even possible. So there are some other letters and there's some correspondence that I have where I've asked them, and I went back and actually we had asked them to see if we couldn't get some of this reduced or even taken off. So we will get that information to you, and it'll show all of that.
Madam Chair.
Just one moment, Councilor Alexander. Councilor Crusoe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I too agree. I mean, I would love to see the original correspondence and to hear that the mayor's office has been in correspondence with HUD for nearly a year regarding nearly $800,000 that they're asking for reimbursement, and for the for council being over finances, and we're just not being being put in the know of this. I mean, it's a bit, I don't know what word to say. And to look at the listed items as to why, to justify or to explain this 100 and something thousand dollars are some of the very questions that I know that this body has been requesting of the mayor's office as it related to the CDBG funds and economic development. Some of the very things that we've been red flagged or asked for reimbursement on these are some of the requests, after accepting these funds from the federal government, we've been asking for this information. So if we as a council member or council body, and a lot of this is even before well, all of it for the most part, it was before I became a counselor around the table. So, and then to also look back at all of the friction that we have received, amongst counselors and from the mayor's office when we requested such information, just to find out that now, I guess now that HUD is requesting this information, and our backs are being pushed against the wall, just out of a lack of accountability here. This is a bit appalling, and I guess much more of an explanation to the citizens or business owners who have been stopping us and asking us why they have not been eligible or could qualify for certain fundings throughout the city, and to see just how, our lack of accountability, looking at these numbers and the holes that we have in our system of accountability as it relates to the federal government. We're going to have to tighten up these loose ends, and also just to I guess to think in terms of the people who have received these funds, who weren't eligible for them. So are we just holding ourselves in the city of Bessemer responsible for this, or the people who approved these funds without the viable causes? I mean, who are we going to hold responsible here? And also, where are these funds going to come from? Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Madam President.
Yes, sir. Mayor Gully.
Let me try to answer some of all of that rambling. But I will say this right here. Not only do that predates Councilor Crusoe, a great deal of that and stuff predates and stuff me and stuff as well, as you just made reference to. A lot of this was back, some of it was back before as far as 1998. But obviously, if a loan was given, there's a criteria of loans that comes with the loans. And one of those things are being job creation. If that was not done, then HUD will come back and ask for reimbursement. Now, I'm within my purview, and so as the mayor of this city, to agree or disagree, to dispute, and go back and forward and stuff with HUD if I disagree and stuff with HUD. But that's what has been done. And I still disagree with certain things that HUD is requiring that we reimburse. So I already know from some of the standpoint here when it comes to council members what this about. But some things, they are what they are. I disagree and stuff with HUD. I'll fight and stuff that. I have fought that. But at the end of the day, and so it's HUD's money, and if HUD asks that their money be reimbursed, and so that's where we are at this particular point.
Can I respond? Can I respond?
Go ahead.
Madam Chair.
Is it a question, Councilor Crusoe?
No, ma'am. It's a statement.
Very shortly.
Yes, ma'am. The statement that I just made is far from a rumble. When we're talking about nearly $800,000. And as far as in 1998, of course, you may not have been around the table, but I see a lot of 2015, 2018, and 2019. And I don't want us to turn this object or item around as to making it anything personal. This is I'm not here for any personal reason, no more than as a citizen of Bessemer and a representative for District 7. This isn't personal for me. This is just making sure that we are doing what we're supposed to do as far as in the finances and holding ourselves accountable to the federal government. When we sit around and agree to accept these funds, But then in between the acceptance and the disbursement of these funds, we have no say so, and then turn around and be asked to cough up $800,000 when we didn't have any type input as for how it was being dispersed or who the recipients were, or what have you. But at the end of the day, now the accountability falls back in our laps as to where we're going to come up with $800,000. This is, like, again, I'll say, this is nothing personal. We're not going to make it be anything personal. We just need to tie up the loose ends and make our system much more accountable, because, I mean, the funds from the federal government, they're much needed here in the city of Bessemer, as it is in many other municipalities. And this is one entity of resources that we don't want to lose because of, for whatever reasons that we lack, that our system lack in accountability as far as in what they are requiring with their stipulations and their guidelines. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, let's call a spade a spade. This is misappropriation of funds. This is misappropriation of funds, and it's an unspecified activity from 1998. The city, nor HUD, has records of the activity up until 2015. Excuse me, can you mute your mic, Councilman Marshall?
Oh my gosh, it needs to be muted.
From 1998 to 2015, and if I stand corrected, I think when Mayor Gully gave his speech the other day on the steps, that he said he had been at the city hall for 25 years. So I think this happened up on the Mitchell's administration, which you were like Terrain as the assistant to the mayor. But I'm asking this council, and Mayor Gully said he wants to fight this as well. Let's get a forensic analysis by the choice of the council. Can we please vote on a forensic financial analysis brought by the council's choice of the accounting firm that will take place to do this forensic analysis on all city finances? And I'm talking about Bessemer Utilities, the city finances, Civic Center, the rec center, all the city's finances. Because if this is coming up now, and then we still have another $154,000 that we're currently in litigation with that we knew nothing about. I've been requesting these documents for 2 years. I called HUD in Birmingham myself and DC. The people at HUD in Birmingham told me they could not speak to me because they were told by the mayor's office not to speak with me, preferably Mr. Norris. Then I got a call the other day from DC that said Attorney Payton had called DC and said that it was a matter of the council against the mayor, which that is not the case. I was placed here. I was voted in for the citizens of Bessemer to do right by the citizens of Bessemer Finance. So I'm asking that we place on the next agenda to be voted on for forensic financial analysis for the city of Bessemer's finance by the council's choice of the firm that we go to. Even if we go to Timbuktu to get a firm, we need to get a forensic analysis. We have just received almost $14 million, and I wouldn't dare want that to happen to the $14 million, what has happened here with HUD up under the last administration.
Madam President.
Mayor Gully.
It's so many inaccuracies and stuff in this statement that I just don't even know where to start. But I will and stuff say that obviously when loans are applied for and given to CDBG, it's for low and stuff to moderate income individuals. So now if an individual chooses not to honor and so their loan and stuff agreement, and they come back and stuff later on and HUD says and stuff that you loaned X and stuff X amount of money, and they did not honor and stuff the job creation or the criteria and stuff of the loan, they're going to ask and stuff for those funds and stuff back. But however, I want to make it clear that those funds do not leave the city of Bessemer. They are reimbursed and stuff back into CDBG account and stuff to be reallocated and stuff for other projects. So, you know, I understand when some just don't understand, but the bottom line and stuff is that the city loses no funds. What HUD and stuff is asking because and stuff the terms of certain loans were not and stuff carried out correctly by the individuals that borrowed the money. The city and stuff signs a promissory note for that. So you have to pay it back and stuff to the CDBG fund. It does not leave and stuff the city of Bessemer to be allocated and stuff again for the use of the city of Bessemer. Now, you know, I'm done and stuff with that. And so to get into the misappropriation of this and that, you know, it's just not true. And you know, and that's just an insult. But nothing is being misappropriated here. And I welcome whatever and stuff you choose and stuff to do, because one thing and stuff about and stuff this administration, I don't have anything to hide from anyone. Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Councilor Alexander,
can I respond, please?
shortly.
I mean, it is a misappropriation of fund. I mean, the council didn't get the letterhead. It was a nice note it was a nice letter that Mr. Norris wrote, but it is misappropriation of funds. We've been asking about those entities, those companies that is behind. I've been asking since day one for a list of people that's in default of their loans, whether it's economic development loans or community development loans. We have not been given that information. We were told by Mr. Norris that he received a letter from HUD stating that he cannot give us that information. Also, can we have that on letterhead as well from HUD, their response? And also, Madam Chair, I would love for you to put that on next council meeting for a forensic analysis audit to be voted on by the council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Alexander.
Madam Chair.
I think Mr. Norris did state that he would give us the correspondence that is associated with this misappropriation letter. He would give that to us, and as soon as that is made available, I will make it available to you via Miss Coleman. Was that Councilor Collier?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
That's something I need to go on planning session.
This is a planning session.
No, ma'am. She said voted on next week. It needs to go on planning session before we discuss any type of vote.
I asked it that we're on planning session now. So can we discuss it now and then it be voted on next week? I'm tired of everything always being pushed back. With this administration, we have pushed back so much. And it's time that we stand firm.
Councilor Alexander.
And know that we are counselors of this city.
Councilor Alexander.
Madam President.
Councilor Alexander.
No, it's Councilor Marshall.
I understand. Councilor Alexander.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
Are you finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Norris has already stated that we will get the correspondence from HUD, directly from HUD, that he received. Can we wait until we receive that correspondence? And then we'll discuss that correspondence.
Madam Chair, not to be mean or anything, but we always waiting on correspondence and to receive stuff, and we don't receive it. It's plenty of documents I have requested and I haven't received, and I've been sitting on this council for 2.5 years. I'm just tired. I'm just tired of the games, and I'm tired of being led on. When it's something that they want, they push it as if it's an emergency. We got to do this. We got to do this. Well, I'm pushing it because we have to do this. And yes, I want it on the next meeting to be voted on. Whether it's voted up or voted down, I did my part and put it on.
Yes, ma'am, you did.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilor Alexander. Councilor Collier.
Now we had other things that could be voted up and down, like to help the citizens of Bessemer earlier, but you chose to put it off and voted on the next week. So if that wasn't important, why is this so important to not be discussed during planning session?
Councilor Collier, I see that you have a problem this morning that I'm not going to address.
I don't have a problem.
As council, if you
I
will
do have
allow
a
me to
problem
speak,
with.
if you will allow me to speak,
Well, if you
just
allow
me to finish.
if
Just
you allow
me to finish.
if you allow
Please
me to
mute that.
finish,
Please mute his mic. Please mute his
No,
mic.
Mr.
you allow
Singleton,
me to
do
finish.
not mute
You
anything.
can't stop me.
Okay.
You let
You
her
know what?
speak,
This
but
council
you
meeting,
can't let nobody else
let's
speak.
adjourn. This is council meeting. Let's adjourn.
I need a second. I need a second.
Let's adjourn the meeting.
Second.
It has been
Roll
properly
call,
moved
Ms.
and
Taylor.
second. One moment, Miss Alexander.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can we not all just calm down and carry this meeting out, please? Please, y'all. We don't need to do this. Can everybody just come to a consensus of calm down? I mean, everybody's on edge for whatever reason, but let's do the city's business, please.
Absolutely. I'm not on edge, and you all know that I'm not on edge, and I don't be on edge with any counselor. I think I give every counselor the respect. But don't think you're going to come in each and every time, each and every meeting, and step on Cynthia Donald because of something that you don't agree with. A lot of things I don't agree with, but I don't take it out on the citizens, nor do I take it out on you. We can agree to disagree and come to a common consensus for the citizens here in the city of Bessemer. That is what I'm here for. That's who employs me, the citizens of the city of Bessemer.
Madam Chair.
It has been, one moment, Councilor Marshall.
Okay.
It has been moved and second. Do you want to, Councilor Alexander, do you want to take that motion off of the floor?
No, ma'am.
We cannot vote in.
We have a second. Is there a second on the floor?
Yes, it's a second on the floor. It's a second.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we can vote to adjourn a meeting, but I was hoping we could I hope we could have some calmness, but I mean, if no calmness, then I don't guess we have no other choice. But I was just trying to see if we could come, but attorneys, we can vote to adjourn this meeting. Am I correct?
First of all, can I speak?
Yes,
First of all,
attorney, one moment.
I'm just
Attorney
one
Payton.
question.
Attorney Payton, I think that was you talking, Attorney Payton.
Madam President.
Yes, sir.
It's Greg Harris.
Okay, I'm sorry, Attorney Harris.
It could be a motion so made at any point.
It's been a motion in a second.
Though it may be in the council's better interest to proceed along with the remainder, perhaps, of the agenda, but that could be a proper motion, I think.
It has been motioned and second. Ms. Taylor?
Yes, ma'am.
Question, Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
Question.
Yes, sir.
I agree with Councilor Matthews. You know, this is shameful. We're being disrespectful to the citizens that have put us in place. But, you know, when we start talking and making wild accusations without fact, then it's going to cause people to get on edge. So I think we need to be careful what accusations we make if we don't have proof, you know, to back it up. And it's just shameful. You know, if I were a citizen, and I am a citizen, this is disgusting. This is disgusting. I would not spend 2 minutes watching the YouTube meeting of this council, because there are a lot of things that are said that are erroneous, don't have any basis in fact, but, you know, it's just a vendetta and some puppets that are being, you know, strings being pulled on folks and stuff like that. We need to go on and do the business of the city and try to do it decently and in order. I hear you say that, Madam President. I agree with you. Let's do it decently and in order. We can disagree. That's fine. Everybody's got an opinion, but we ought to act like, we're really, really proud to represent our districts and represent the city. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so
Discussion.
much. Councilor Alexander.
I'm not a puppet, and I come with the facts.
Counselor-
This is
Counselor-
presented before us, and
Counselor
that's what I was talking
Alexander.
about.
Counselor Alexander. Counselor Alexander. You have made the motion. It has been second. Let us do a roll call, please. Ms.
Counselor
Payne.
Alexander,
Aye.
Counselor Collier,
Nay.
Counselor Crusoe,
Aye.
Counselor Marshall,
Nay.
Counselor Thigpen,
Nay.
Counselor Matthews,
Nay.
Counselor Donald.
Nay.
2 ayes, 4 nays. I'm sorry, 3 ayes. No, 2 ayes. 1, 2, 3,
5
5 nays. The motion does not carry. I'm sorry.
Thank you. We will continue with, as I stated, Counselor Alexander asked for it to be on the agenda, and any counselor has that right. Item number 12, please.
Discussion, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Discussion, Madam Chair.
Counselor Crusoe, we've done discussion.
Well, can I make a statement, Madam Chair?
Go ahead, Counselor Crusoe.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
For this to be city council meeting, and I know that we have Mr. Singleton who's operating the controls as far as in the Zoom, but as counselors, and you're being the president of the council, I know that Mr. Singleton, who is operating the room, is under the administration of Mayor Gully. I'm trying to get some clarity as to, how do we go about making sure that we are in control of our council meetings when you make a request that is being overturned by the mayor, and these are not the mayor's meeting, these are city council meetings. Can someone speak to that as to what do we need to do to ensure that as counselors that we have control over the orders of you as president?
Yes, ma'am. That can be addressed. Attorney Harris, do you want to address that?
Yeah, first, can you hear me?
I can.
Yes, this is a council meeting, although it's being, some of the facilities of it, the broadcast is being handled by mayoral employees. And ordinarily, the council does not have the authority to give order to mayor employees. However, there could be argued, on the other hand, that since the mayor has put these employees to operate the council's machinery, that he's given some authority, made the council to give orders with respect to the operation of this program.
Madam President.
Yes, sir, Mayor Gully.
First and foremost, and so I disagree with that comment, but I will and so say, and so this right here for the records. According to Robert's Rules of Order, individuals get an opportunity and so to speak and so on an item and so once. I think I'm right, and I'll ask and so the legals and so on to do that. But obviously, an individual and so should not and so have the opportunity and so to take shots and so and unsubstantiated and so shots. I'm sure Councilor Crusoe or Councilor Alexander and so would have no problem, because obviously they get an opportunity to talk for 15, 20 minutes and say whatever and stuff they so choose. And then and stuff when and stuff a person disagrees, what's hollered and stuff is mute that mic. I disagree and stuff with that. If the mute button were used consistently, in my opinion, I would have no problem and stuff with that. But each council person is not given equal time, in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Gully, for your opinion. Councilor Crusoe, did that answer your question from Attorney Harris?
Yes, from Attorney Harris, it did.
Thank you so much. Item number 12, please.
Item 12 is HUD Neighborhood Revitalization Strategy Area Recommendation.
That came in from Attorney Payton's office.
Madam President, this is Mr. Norris again.
Hey, Mr. Norris again, how are you?
I'm doing well. Just want to let you all know that there is about this particular project that we're working on. You should be getting some information on it soon. It's called a Neighborhood Revitalization Strategy Area, or an NRSA. It is a HUD designation that HUD will allow grantees to designate an area where they can concentrate CDBG funds or any other funds received from HUD. We are exploring this option after having some conversation with the Bessemer Housing Authority. The Housing Authority, as you know, and many of you are well aware, have been trying to do a project over on the south side of Bessemer. And that project had been declined or was not approved by the HUD's Office of Fair Housing and Equal Opportunity. And in discussing it with the Housing Authority and HUD made mention. First, let me go back and tell you why HUD did not approve that project. One of the reasons that HUD did not approve that particular project was because there was no general plan, no city-laid plans for the general area where that project is going, where that project is planned to be taking place. And so without those plans, HUD said, you know, essentially, we can't give approval. We had had some discussions with them and seeing if we could make some mention of some of the city's projects that have taken place in that area, but it all came back down to doing some type of planning for that area. I think you all have talked about planning throughout the meeting, and you all are well aware of the importance of planning as it relates to sometimes federal funds. So what has happened is they have recommended that we look into developing an NRSA, Neighborhood Revitalization Strategy Area. And one of the things that the Neighborhood Revitalization Strategy Area will do is that the city can draw the boundaries of that area. I think there's only one other entitlement community in the state of Alabama, and that's Mobile, that has done one. The city can draw that boundary of the Neighborhood Revitalization Strategy Area and then come up with a plan over 3 or 5 years on how to spur economic development and housing in that particular area, as well as some additional public services that can be spurred in that area. And so what we have done is we have researched it. We put out a notice on some qualified consultants to come in and assist us with this project. We have gotten those back and we've looked at them, and we have identified a consultant that we would recommend that the city work with on this particular project. Again, it can be paid for, the planning can be paid for entirely out of community development block grant funds. And again, this was done so that we could see if we can help that project that the Housing Authority is proposing to move along. So I'm hoping I made some sense in terms of it's complicated, but then it's not complicated. The good thing about an NRSA is it does allow you some waivers in terms of regulatory requirements that HUD has, and some of the in terms of how some of the funding can be used in that particular area. But the bottom line is we're proposing this so that we can help the Housing Authority move forward with this particular project, but at the same time will give us an opportunity to focus some of the CDBG funds in a particular area so that we can help spur housing and economic development in that particular area. So we would like to go ahead and advance the consultant that we have identified and seek to work with so that we can get this project moving. I just wanted to make the council aware of it before we went any further. Are there any questions?
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am, Councilor Crusoe. I'm sorry, Alexander.
what areas have y'all scoped out to do this?
Well, obviously, the first area is the one that HUD said they wouldn't, that we didn't have a plan for. And that's the area that would be immediately adjacent to where the project that the Housing Authority is proposing.
Now, my question is, because I've had some constituents come to me and say that some kind of HUD or Habitat for Humanity project is about to go on because she's about to get a house built behind the bowling alley. I guess they're gonna redo her house. Are you aware of that?
I guess I'm not aware of anything like that. I'm primarily here, Counselor, to discuss the NRSA. Is there a question on the NRSA?
Okay, I see you don't want to answer the question.
Counselors, you've
Madam Chair.
heard Mr. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Councilor Matthews.
Yeah, when you speak about the consultant, are you prohibit to discuss the consultant and that you're speaking of?
No, I am a little cautious, Counselor, because we have not let them know that we are recommending them. We got about 4 consulting firms that did approach us and said they could do it, and we did identify one that we feel is the most responsive.
Madam Chair.
Hold
on just a moment, Councilor Crusoe. Let Councilor
No
Matthews
problem.
finish.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Go ahead, Councilor Matthews.
And don't get me wrong. I would like everything good for Bessemer is good, but when you ask us to or me to vote on a particular issue and you bring in, you say part and don't tell whole, it's kind of, it kind of makes me kind of leery about what, I don't get me wrong. Like I say, I'm for Bessemer, but when you say you have 4, it don't matter, 4 to 6, 8, 10, it doesn't matter. But then when you ask just a little innocent question on, well, who you planning on, who you looking at, or who you're favoring, the plan, fine. But when I ask a question, that's all I'm saying. And I'm not, and don't get me wrong, I'm not judging who you choose or who you have in mind. But when I ask just a little simple question, I would respectfully request a simple answer. That's all. Is that too hard?
Councilman Matthews, let me answer your question.
Yes,
we did have 4 consultants that sent in requests for proposals. We have one that we would like to recommend. We have not notified that particular company yet. We are obviously going to need the council to approve the agreement. When we send the agreement over, we will send a list of the companies that applied. And the companies that submitted proposals were also graded. So we will send the grades as well so that you understand a little bit more about the process when we get there. I'm making you aware so that as we move forward. So we don't have any problem sharing it with you. We just have not let the company that has been identified, we have not notified them yet that they're the ones we're going to recommend.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am, Councilor Crusoe.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome.
Mr. Norris, thank you for that information. My question or my concern regarding this matter, as far as in you're speaking with 4 different consultants, is it in a way possible for those consultants to meet with the council? I know that I guess it's so far that you can go as far as in providing such information or some clarity that these consultants probably can afford the answers to. My concern is that we as the council body be included more so in the decision-making process than just our votes. So I mean, my question, between all of what I just said, Is it in a way that, you know, these consultants can come before the council and present this information?
We can ask them if they would.
Thank you. I think that'll kind of open up the gates of us, you know, being, I guess, a little more privy to the insight as to when we approve finances, or when we approve certain contracts, that what it is that we are, you know, that we are agreeing ourselves and our constituents to. Thank you so much, Mr. Norris.
Madam Chair, just one more question for Mr. Norris. So
Yes,
when we
ma'am.
have those big contracts like this that'll be going out, I think you got your mic unmuted again. When
Council, I'm
we have
waiting on you
these
to
big
ask the
contracts
question.
that's going, okay, that's going out, do we not have to put an RFP out for those companies, or y'all just, you and the mayor's office just select who we vote on? I'm just asking a question.
Counselor, I think I said earlier that we did put out an RFP.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, counselors. Are you finished, Mr. Norris?
I just want to make sure I'm clear. So so the city council, is it the council body's desire to have all of the consultants come in and make a presentation?
I would love that.
Counselors?
To know what our options are. Yes, sir.
Any other counselor? Mr. Norris, that is the consensus of this body, to have them come in and give a short report on this program that they're proposing, the strategy that they're proposing to do.
Madam President, in what format, I guess, would you like to have them come in and make presentation? Are we talking a planning session? Are we talking a committee meeting? What
No,
exact
sir.
format?
No, sir. If you'll just allow me just 1 minute, I'm going to tell you that I will call a special meeting this week and or the top half of next week, because we're not going to vote on it until Tuesday. So we can call it at the end of this week or tomorrow, whichever. If you can get in contact with them and ask them when can they meet with us via Zoom and do their proposal or their presentation, we can call a special meeting and get that done, Mr. Norris.
Madam President, thank you. I just want to be clear in terms of what the format would be. We'll reach out to them, and we will, once you have a date in mind, you let us know. We'll reach out to them and see if they're available.
We would like for you to reach out to them today and get back with us as soon as possible. Thank you, sir. Item number 13, please.
Item 13 is CDBG follow-up.
Madam President.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I think that was placed on by mistake.
Okay, so you want me to delete item number 13?
Yes, ma'am. We discussed all the items related to CDBG.
Okay, all right.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I had a question concerning that, but I'll wait till council member discussions and issues. I'll wait.
Thank you, ma'am. Item number 14, please.
City of Bessemer School Board members and Dr. Autumn Jeter would like to meet with mayor and council members.
Council members, this request came from the president of the the school board, Ms. Marika Thompson, after speaking with Dr. Autumn Jeter. She would like to have a roundtable discussion with the mayor and the council on the 29th, I think that is, Comments and or concerns, yay or nay, Counselor? Counselor?
Yes, I would love to work
I
with
think
the
that's,
school board.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. Any other counselor? Okay, I will reach back out to Ms.
Right.
Ramika.
I was gonna say that the date was, we had one date, which was already planned. And I think they moved it to we had 2 dates, so they moved it to another date. And I think that date is June 29th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir, that's the date, June 29th.
And it's via Zoom as well.
Yes, sir, that's exactly right.
Thank you.
What's the time on that, Madam President?
I think that's 5:30, Counselor Collier.
And will it be on Zoom or will we be meeting at?
We'll be Zoom. We'll be
Okay,
Zoom.
thank you.
Yeah, we'll be Zoom. Thank you all.
What,
I'll
Madam Chair, I thought I saw in the email, I didn't see a time. Did I see a time in the last one or
I spoke with Ms. Ramika Thompson, and I will reach back out to her again and make sure that time is still the same.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, councilors. I'll reach back out to the president, and she will in turn get with the superintendent and let her know that is a wonderful idea for the city of Bessemer. Item number 15 has been asked to be tabled by Councilor Collier. Item number 16, please.
Discussion on use of Bessemer Civic Center.
Councilor Alexander, did you get with your committee?
I haven't got with the committee, but I'll get with the committee this week if they're available. Mr. Marshall. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say something, Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
You finished?
No, I was still talking.
Go ahead.
I'll get with the committee this week. Also, while we're on this, about the discussion and the use of the Civic Center, I know with some refunds given by the Civic Center. Now, I don't know if we voted or the last administration voted not for them to come before the council, but I do remember a young lady coming before the council for a refund when we were in chamber. So do refunds come through the council for the Bessemer Civic Center, or do the manager of the Bessemer Civic Center do the refunds? Because I know I had to sign a check last week from municipal court for $100,000 to put into the Civic Center's budget account to give refunds back. And I was thinking, well, if they took in money, where is that money located for them to give the refunds? Why would we have to put in money in that account for them to refund it back to those recipients?
Mr. Dawson is not on the line. Mayor Gully, are you on the line?
Madam President?
Yes, sir.
I'll ask Ms. Taylor to go back in the minutes. I think and so that there was a vote that allowed and so those refunds to be sent and stuff to the clerk's office for reimbursement. Initially, every one of those were going to the city council, but I think and so the council voted and so to allow those refunds and stuff to go and so to the revenue department for reimbursement unless there was a question or unless there was an issue and so with one. I think that was done by resolution. I'll ask Ms. Taylor and so to go back and pull that resolution again for you all. So and so you know there won't be no misunderstanding about that. But right now it goes back and so to the revenue department.
Madam Chair, can I respond to that? I know resolutions can always be amended, and I think that we will be looking at that the committee will be looking at it to come back before the council for refunds, because I think Mr. Woodard said that the rec center come before the council for refunds as well. So we just need uniformity in the city. So we'll be talking about this in the committee meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Alexander. Item number 17, please.
Flooding on McCullough Road.
Mr. Matthews.
Yes, ma'am, Madam Chair. Thank you. I'm have some deep concerns all along McCullough Road, and engineering and stormwater has been contacted by the Boards, mainly Miss Tanya Boyd, and she doesn't have she definitely don't have any problem with me calling her name, and she's sent me a ton load of pictures concerning the flooding out there on McCullough Road. That she alleged that has come from Consolidated Pipe yard. The construction that has been done there, and Mayor, she asked me to share these photos with you too, and I'll be forward them to your office. And I think EEFS has been out, and our stormwater, Mr. Freeman, he's been out as well. And it's getting to a point where it's almost getting in there. It's got in their duct work, and they are getting to a point where they're fed up with it. And we're going to have to push Consolidated Pipe, where they put in about 3, reduced it down to where it was, just say if you had a flow of water coming through 2 pipes, 2 big 36, I'm just using this, 2 36-inch pipes, then you reduce it down to 1 36. Well, you're going to slow the water back uphill where it's coming from. So then that results in backing up into the Boyd's home and along McCullough Road. I mean, McCullough Road is just sometimes you can't even get through it. So I just wanted to bring that to the floor and let you all know that we do have an issue on McCullough Road, but it's not because of anything that the city has or has not done. It's because of the construction in the yard of Consolidated Pipe.
Thank you, Councilor Matthews.
Thank you.
Item number 18.
Item 18, demolition process.
That's mine too, Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on that request, Mr. Mayor and Mr. Norris, Harmon, all 3 of you all. I'm still waiting on that. That was stated in the meeting, the criteria which by we go about the steps that's be taken prior to demolition. And I know the contractors have been awarded the I guess to do the job to demolish these structures, but I don't know, prior to a couple of days ago, we didn't have too much rain. I don't know if they overloaded, how many houses or structures are they given in order to move to expeditiously move the structures within our communities. So I'm still waiting on those steps. Are they making any progress, Mayor or anyone?
Councilor Matthews, I have not received it back from Mr. Harmon yet. As soon as I receive those, I'll make sure I forward this up a copy on to you.
Okay, in mine, I still have to remind, it's been since last August, and we approaching August again, and I understand it's been awarded to the contractors, but that doesn't make the people in the community that don't pacify them knowing that what I've stated to them, that's not, they're not taking that too well. So just thought I'd let you all know that too. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, sir. Counselor Matthews. Ms. Taylor, item number 19, please.
Discussion on districts 1 through 7 issues.
District 1.
Yes, ma'am. I'm asking the continued prayer from the entire council and the mayor's office for the loss to the Strait family where they lost their mother and funeralized on last week. And I'll keep on forwarding everything to the mayor's office. Thanks.
Thank you so much. District 2.
Yes, Madam Chair, I got a couple of items that I would like to address. One being, I was going to ask Mr. Norris for a copy of the RFP for NRSA. Can the council get a copy of that? Also, I've been bombarded with calls from employees because they seen that the city of Birmingham had gave their employees another stipend, a bonus. Well, I told them that we didn't get $141 million like the city of Birmingham, but we did get almost $14 million. And I was suggesting next planning session that we put it on, that we come up with a number. I said 2,500, that'll be $1.75 million of the money that we have received. And according to this, we can pay out our essential workers according to the outline and the guidelines. Also, I was looking at I wanted to talk about us allocating some of that money like the previous council did, the administration did, like they did for the BP oil spill, to kind of put some money into each person's district so we can do some things in our district wise. Also, I wanted to know, is Ms. Hall back surveying yards? Because I have a lot of overgrown lots in my district.
That will be a question for Mayor Gully.
Madam President, I'll get this up with the street department and see where they are relevant and stuff to that. But I do want to make note and stuff of the fact that we're continuously hiring individuals. We're having problems in the street department, just like all businesses right now, and of hiring and retaining and stuff, people, which has slowed down the process and stuff a little bit. But you know, we're hoping and stuff that citizens and will bear with us, but we're working as fast as we can. But we are at a point whereby obviously a lot and stuff of recruitment and a lot of companies have come and stuff into the city of Bessemer. The city of Bessemer starts some of our employees off at about $10.50 an hour, and it's hard and stuff to keep and retain employees when we have neighboring businesses offering $15 to $20 an hour. So we are continuously hiring, and we'll continue to do what we need and stuff to do. But I will check with Lawrence Hatter and on the status and stuff of whether Ms. Hall is back out surveying.
And thank you. And you're right, Mayor Gully, because I have been getting calls from the street department of employees just walking off the job, and that 30 employees just started the other day. My other question, and this is the last question, I know we voted for 2 emergency ambulance in the city of Bessemer. Can we get by the next council meeting or planning session the rundown of how much would it cost to maintain those vehicles? I know drugs have to be stored on those vehicles. I know those vehicles have to have certifications kept up. Can we get a price cost of those? And can we also get another analysis or price list of what the other ambulance services were wanting to stay here in the city of Bessemer?
Okay, I can get I'll get with the chief. I'll have the chief give me an assessment of what it'll take to maintain the ambulance. But I did not understand your second question about independent ambulance service.
Now, are we losing the independent ambulance service? If not, can we get a copy of what their request was to stay here in the city of Bessemer? I think they requested an additional $250,000 to stay in the city of Bessemer.
Councilor Alexander, I think one of them has no desire and such to stay. I think the other had requested $250,000 to supplement and stuff them, but they will not be able to handle all and stuff of the calls either. But I'll get with the chief and have him write something up.
Thank you so much.
That is it.
Thank you, Council, District 4.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'll continue to send my information to the mayor's office to Mr. Norris. Thank you.
Thank you. District 5.
I'll continue sending to Mr. Norris, and finally I'll say, Lord have mercy.
I will totally agree with you. Mercy, Lord. District 6.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I guess I'll afford that what I just stated to the mayor, but what I do have to say is concerning what was just said concerning the employees. We all supposed to be visionaries and leaders in the city, right? Well, if we see these new business and companies that's coming to the city that's paying more than the city, I think at some point, Mayor, we may need to approach the Jefferson County Personnel Board to see some type of salaries, the Jefferson County Commission, some salary changes, because if businesses are coming in these municipalities all over Jefferson County, and I grant you, Bessemer is not the only one that having this problem. I believe municipalities throughout this county is having. Maybe at some point the county need to up salaries or up the wage increase. Police, everybody, street and sanitation, because cities. Unless it's going to be contracted out. Work going to be contracted out. I know that's another arm, but I think the personnel board need to revisit the pay scales in order to for cities to survive. That's just a point that I thought observation that I have, because when back in early 2000, we were flourishing with the employees, but now we have few employees to do few less work in the communities. Thereby, there's lots growing up, and city services going to be, I guess, city services is going to be hammered in a negative way. So I think that's something that maybe need to be addressed with the Jefferson County Personnel Board. I don't know. What do y'all think? That could be another discussion, but it's just something I thought about when we went to Blocks, how much they paid, how much Amazon paid, how much other entities are paying, but our city is, who wants to do weed eating and pick up paper for $10 when you can go inside and make anywhere from $15 to $20.
Madam Chair, I just want to make a comment. Madam Chair, I just want to say that I don't think all our employees are hired through the personnel board at the street department. And I think it's about time that we separate the police and fire department from the street department. Because if I was a fire person or a police officer, I wouldn't want to come in making the same as the street department. I think those need to be separated. And like I said, I don't think those jobs at the street and sanitation department goes through the personnel board.
Madam President.
Mayor Gully.
Councilor Matthews, we've had dialogue with the personnel board along those same.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes, we have, and I agree 100%. Now, asking stuff for street and sanitation, and as for the police department, that's incorrect. The street and sanitation comes through the personnel board, just like the police department, fire department, and anyone else. So they wouldn't be brought in at the same price as someone and so with someone at the street department. The only exception to that if an individual comes in as a laborer, if they come in as a laborer, that's when they're paid outside the realm of the personnel board at $10.50. Everything else is under the Jefferson County Personnel Board.
And how many laborers do we have at the street and sanitation department?
I mean, I have no idea at any given time how many laborers there. Obviously, laborers make up the little crews. Laborers make up individuals and stuff that works on the trash truck, the garbage truck. Laborers makes up individuals and stuff that that weed eat, so forth and so on. So no, I wouldn't have any idea how many laborers.
That's what I was getting at. If they're not up under the personnel board, it's up to the council and the mayor to give them a raise, those laborers, right?
Councilor Alexander, there is when an individual is hired on as a laborer, they are given 3 steps. They may start off at $10.50, and then after 1 year as a laborer, they're giving another 5%. After another year, they start off they're given another increase of 5%. The reason that we're having this discussion with the personnel board, in order to change and stuff the scale and stuff now, what happens and stuff is you're getting into semi-labor where it is under the personnel board. So, you'll have to look at the entire scale, because if you went any higher, then you would be paying a laborer higher and something the personnel board pays a semi-labor.
Okay, can you get those pay scales? Can we get those pay scales to the council so we can see those pay scales of the laborer, please? Those steps that they're taking each year.
Councilor Alexander, if you would send that to him via email, please.
We'll send that in writing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. District 7, please.
I will continue to forward my information to the mayor's office, but just to kind of touch on one more thing concerning the personnel board and the laborers. Just a question: what is the legality with us hiring in laborers, knowing that we're contracted through the personnel board? Do we, what was I'm trying to see what was the purpose of the Jefferson County Personnel Board and our contract with them if we're continuing to hire as we choose as laborers? That's just a question that I'm asking. But the others I will forward on to the mayor's office. Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councilor Crusoe. Mayor Gully.
Councilor Crusoe, laborers are just what we just and stuff described is individuals and stuff that are hired on. They're given the same rights, same benefits as anyone else. They're given the same vacation, sick and vacation time as anyone else. The only issue that would be different is that they're not under the umbrella of the Jefferson County Personnel Board, and they're not compensated and so at a level higher and so as a skilled and so individual under the Jefferson County Personnel Board. They're hired on and subject to do a specific job as as a laborer with the city of Bessemer, but they are entitled to all benefits.
Yes, sir. I'm clear as far as in what they're hired in, and as far as in a specific job. I'm asking, with us having a contract with Jefferson County Personnel Board, the legalities of us being able to still hire laborers. I mean, that was one of the purposes of entering into the contractual agreement with the personnel board to oversee our employment process. I guess if you can speak to that part of it, if you don't mind.
Madam President, this is Shan. Could I handle this part, Mayor? Would that be all right?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Attorney Payton.
So Act number 248 of the legislature created the personnel board and tells you which employees of a municipality are covered by the personnel board. Laborers are specifically exempted from being under the personnel board. So we're really not under a contract with the personnel board as much as there's a law that created them, and we're subject to them to hire all employees of the city except for laborers. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Councilor Alexander, no ma'am. Let me get on to finish with Councilor Crusoe. Councilor Crusoe, are you finished? Councilor Crusoe, are you
Yes, ma'am.
finished?
Yes, ma'am. I'm done. I'll forward the rest of them to the mayor's office. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Alexander, will you kindly put the rest of your comments into a
Email. Yes, ma'am. I will.
Yes, ma'am, please do. District number 3. First, let me apologize to the city of Bessemer and whomever is listening. I don't pride myself in raising my voice here or any place else, but I do apologize to you and to the counselor that I raised my voice to, and that was Councilor Collier. I do apologize. I have received this morning and last night several calls about Carolina Terrace and 24th Street, that underpass that goes up under that railroad track there. It overflowed out in the road, and I think I asked about that on our last meeting. Had anyone gone out to check on that overflow? I will again place it in an email to send it to Mayor Gully's office. On Sunday, June the 13th at 5:30, one of our very own will be hosted on a forum. The forum is speaking on education as far as COVID-19. The Alabama State Black Nurses Association have partnered with Cynthia Donald and Kimberly Alexander with this forum to teach and to tell and to inform not only the community, but I'm looking for some information myself. And one of our very own, Kimberly Alexander, has been on the front line since the very beginning. Councilor Alexander can tell you from the deaths to the pile up of the bodies that has been seen for COVID. But I do suggest that this body, along with the mayor and the community of Bessemer, please tune in on Sunday. The Alabama State Nurses Association, along with New Life Interfaith Church, and Kimberly Alexander and Cynthia Donald, along with 2 doctors and 3 nurses. They will be on, and they are highly qualified and have done their research and have stood on the front line so that they can tell you this information. I will ask Mr. Nars and the mayor if we can put that number on the city's website so that you all can call in and listen to this forum. It won't be long. Listen to this forum of education on your vaccination as well as your COVID-19. If there's not anything else, item number 20, please. Item number 20.
Motion to adjourn.
I need a motion, a second, and a roll call, please.
Madam President, I make a motion to adjourn.
One moment, please. One other thing I had written down here I did not get to. Received several emails via the secretaries, via some citizens. Now, Attorney Harris, are you still on the line? Attorney Payton, are you still on the line?
I am. Can you hear?
I can hear you, Attorney Harris. Attorney Payton, are you still on the line? Okay, Attorney Harris.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
received emails that stated that we have citizens that's requesting personnel files of the counselors. I am not at liberty to discuss that that issue. I would ask the city's attorney as well as the council attorney to address that issue, please.
Is the city attorney still present, ma'am?
I see him, but he's muted.
Because I'd like if he would, because my understanding is these requests came into the city, perhaps even to the city clerk's office, maybe, but they were initially referred to the city attorney. I've had some discussions with him about some of these matters, but I believe the actual request may have come to him, if he's available.
Attorney Payton, I see you there, but are you available? Attorney Harris, the discussions that you all have had.
Yes, ma'am. The discussion that we've had between the two of us has been whether some information, whether or not it's what we call public information or not, and that's a matter that's being ferreted out between the city attorney and I, and before a response is made.
Okay, so I pray that the citizens that have requested that information know that that information, along with the information, that information is in the hands of the attorneys at this point in time. And one more, it is, I know that it is of public record that you have requested the financial statements of the trip to Huntsville for the three counselors that did make that trip. That is public information. Not only is that your funds, but it's my funds as well, and I live in the city as well. So I have been told by legal, Attorney Harris, can you address that?
I am aware of requests being made. I haven't seen the detail of all of the requests. And until the information is actually, that we go over and see what's available and what they're really requesting, I prefer not to address the very specifics of it at this point.
So is it fair to say that that request is in the hands of the attorneys?
Yes, ma'am.
I will say that the information that you have requested is in the hands of the city's attorney, as well as the council's attorney. Thank you all, and anything that you think deemed necessary, please call us and or send us an email, and we will get it to the attorneys. Thank you all for a great day. Number 20, please, again.
Motion to adjourn.
The motion to adjourn, a second, and a roll call.
Motion to adjourn.
Need a second?
Second.
Roll call, Ms. Taylor.
Counselor Alexander. Counselor Alexander.
She may be.
Aye.
Counselor Collier.
Aye.
Counselor Crusoe.
Aye.
Counselor Marshall.
Aye.
Counselor Thickpen.
Aye.
Counselor Matthews.
He had to leave.
Okay, Counselor Donald.
Aye.
Ayes, no nays, the motion carries.
Councilors, look forward to a call as soon as I hear from Mr. Norris. Thank you all and have a great week now.